In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to beat the 30 most annoying champions in League of Legends. Who are these champions? Who are the champions that you see locked in on the enemy team and we're already mentally checked out, mentally giving up? So what we've done is we've polled our WTL academies. We've got 250 responses. This is from all ranks, all roles, so it's not high elo bias skewed. This is the reality of the League of Legends community. We're going to have a tier list here. We're going to go line by line, starting with S tier. And there was 90 unique champions that people had this narrative about.
Yeah.
That they are just impossible to verse. They're already like, this is, it's just, the game's over.
They provided pretty good reasoning as well. They could sell it.
90 champions. So
I wouldn't have
half
thought
the
90.
roster.
It's crazy.
I
Dude.
thought it would probably be like a collection of maybe 20, 30, maybe 40, but 90 is...
People have
not
got
what I
mental
expected.
blocks against Cassiopeia, against Vel'Koz, against Caitlyn.
Well, it kind of makes sense though, because before we get into this, you know, every champion struggles into unique things, right?
Yes, exactly right.
That's where narrative spawn. It's like, okay, this champion is a direct counter to my main, and even if they may not verse it very often, it's every now and then when they verse that champion, you know, obviously they're going to have a painful experience.
So this is going to be a narrative-filled episode. We love narratives here on the Broker by Concept podcast. But we're going to be covering two main things for each of the champions. We're only going to be going over the top 30. We're not going to go over all 90. And that is, why do people think that they're annoying or hard to verse? What's the narratives? And what are our narratives potentially as well? And then how do we beat them? That's the main crux of this episode. How do we beat these impossible champions?
Tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks. So we're going to do line by line. S tier. The most annoying champs that our community said, Shaco, Naafiri, and Zed. Shaco was an interesting one because it was from both junglers as well as laners.
Yes.
So the jungle frustration comes from the fact that, wow, I'm going to get level 1 invaded, or the enemy junglers ganking all my lanes and getting, you know, everyone ahead. And then from a laner's perspective, it's just, I'm just getting ganked by this invisible little thing that comes and just backstabs me. So it's coming from all angles, which is why it had the most votes, like by far, Shaco.
Well, Shaco is an interesting one, right? Because I think there are many elements of Shaco that are annoying, right? You've got Shaco jungle, right? Where it can go full, it can go AD in the early game and just do a boatload of damage and backstab you and get those early kills. You've got AP Shaco jungle, which can be a little bit of like a team fighting menace, a mid game menace, and then you've even got support Shaco, right? AP support Shaco, which in my opinion right now is probably my least favorite thing to deal with, because Shaco in that mid game when his AP is very, very annoying, right? Good Shacos that know how to use their clone are incredibly frustrating to deal with. So where is your, when we're answering and we're going through specifically with Shaco, where is your head at? What lens are you kind of thinking? And what was the general consensus? AP, AD, jungle support, like where is it?
By the way, Pinkward as well has started popularizing top lane Shaco as well.
Right. Okay.
That's a thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think from an AD carry perspective, there were a lot of AD carry votes for Shaco, and I think it's just simply getting ganked in the early game.
Right.
I don't think
Just jungle Shaco.
Jungle Shaco. I think Shaco support is one of those things where it's like, it's the strength of a champion scales with your game understanding. Like a lower elo Shaco support is probably going to be pretty useless. But we know when there's a high elo Shaco support who knows how to get to areas first and place boxes, even running weird summoner spells like Ignite, Exhaust is very annoying to verse. But most of the time, it's just that Shaco finishes full clear at like 2 minutes and fucking 5 seconds or whatever it is these days, and came to my lane, and I didn't have the mental stat capacity to think about it, and I'm dead. And that's annoying.
I've got this is like a complete tangent, but I thought it was so funny. There was a very like low level review. I think it was like a bronze or a silver, something like that review. And there was a skirmish around like a Grubs fight or a Rift Herald. And this bronze Shaco, literally, he was hitting the Rift Herald, right? Yeah. And then his clone was like running into the fight. You know, you would think to create space. So this guy goes past the clone, goes onto the actual, him thinking he's the actual jungler on the neutral objective. But it was actually the other way around. This Shaco was
like using the clone,
to hit the neutral objective.
Yeah.
And then he was actually in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
And everyone ignored the clone and actually exploded the clone in the middle of the team fight. And I was like, well, look, well played. This Shaco outplayed you. And it was a bronze Shaco.
Next level.
So I can't tell if that was like planned idiocy or just like that.
It's the
or
bell,
they even
it's the
confused
bell
themselves.
curve. Yeah.
They didn't even know which one they were. I don't even know. I just thought it was really funny.
Well, think about his kit. Think about how annoying Shaco's kit is. He's got a dash jump, which is, to be honest, not even that long of a cooldown, especially mid to late game. He's got a box that fears you. The E is, a bit of a range. I guess it's like a slow
It's point and click. It's point and click.
Point and click, yeah.
And it scales insanely with both AD and AP, right? Isn't it just like a crazy stat check of
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think it's an execute as well.
Okay, so this is where
And the R. It's just the entire kit is designed to make people lose their minds.
So I agree. I agree with this narrative on Shaco. I think Shaco is an incredibly annoying champion.
Yes.
Both me and you, Charlie, we've also banned Shaco for many,
yes.
many years. And at least for me, like, I feel as though his ganks in the early game are kind of borderline unavoidable, right?
He also takes Ignite as well, that's what I guess the fear that everyone has. It's the kit, the gank potential plus Ignite.
But it's always the fact that it's also hard to ward for, right? A good Shaco will always find a way to get into your lane. I know, Nathan, you've kind of said before in the past, like, if a jungler wants to kill you, right, they can kill you in a way. And I feel like Shaco kind of doubles down on that in a way where he's very difficult to ward for. His engage range is incredibly high.
Yeah.
His damage is incredibly high. And so the reason I thoroughly dislike versing Shaco is like, it changes the way you have to play your early game completely.
Correct. Yes.
Right. And so it's like just because of this person being in the game, I need to be a lot more careful about my wave management, completely overwhelm my mental stack about where Shaco is showing, what he's doing. And that is just like another X factor, another additional variable in the lane that I just don't want to have to consider.
Yeah. So I guess this probably ties into like how to beat Shaco a bit. And I think some of these specific champions, like these mini game champs that have a lot of kill threat, they warp the game in a very unfun way.
Yeah.
And accepting that it is unfun and that you have to say no and change how you play in a defensive way is what people struggle with. But that's how you beat them, right? So what you're talking about there is how the gank is unavoidable. You have to play your lane in such a way that if he does gank you and throw his body at you, you can still live. So we're talking about things like not flashing aggressively in your lane, trading less. So like saying no to potentially good trades, making the lane as non-volatile as possible so you don't give the Shaco options.
Keeping your waves in conservative locations.
Even if I'm playing a Caitlyn, right, and I'm versing Shaco, I can't play to Caitlyn's reference points anymore. I now have to play to his reference points.
That's the annoying thing, because if I'm playing a mage v mage matchup, right, I need to be playing for shove and I want to be generating pressure and control. I can't play that style anymore.
If you do that, you'll ruin the game.
Then I'll ruin the game.
Yes,
so like again, that's the annoying thing about it. It's not that there isn't counterplay. There is counterplay, right? You can always play a lane in a way that reduces volatility and makes you less vulnerable to ganks. But the cost is so high. And then what happens, my narrative with Shaco is, okay, I can do all these things.
Yes.
And then all it takes is some other laner not doing their job.
Yeah.
They're going to die, because if they're not killing me, they're probably going to kill someone else. And this is the other thing, Shaco, I don't think Shaco scales that badly. Like, I don't really find that, like, if I don't die in the early game to a Shaco, they're just going to be, useless moving into... That just, at least for me...
It seems like farmed Shaco does damage. I mean, what do you think?
Where am I going wrong with that kind of belief system? Because I don't really feel like that's the case, at least anecdotally for me. Like, I avoid those ganks. The game's now won.
No, he's definitely not a champion that drops off the cliff. I mean, it's honestly a lot up to the skill of the Shaco.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a very high skill cap Shaco, which is why there's always typically really high Shaco elo players. Like, Shaco can pretty much always get really high elo. I don't think there's ever been a time where Shaco's just useless and can't climb. So, yeah, I mean, AP is probably more consistent with the whole scaling.
Scales so well.
But AD is, okay, well, AD Shaco is going to be really good into heavy squishy comps because you're playing full assassin, but against bruisery tanky comps, you're useless. Like,
that's another reason
I think
why
about
he's
champions like
high.
Ornn or Cassante or whatever, like, that it instantly eliminates, and you're really squishy, you can just get one shot as well as Shaco. So yeah, I would say it's team comp dependent more so on his scaling. For the AD side, AP is fine. But, from a jungler's perspective, the way that I coach Shaco, I love coaching playing against Shaco. And we have a bunch of, we actually have specific resources in the Jungle Academy how to deal with the Shaco level 1 invades. And the big part of it is not playing his game. Literally just ignore him, get all your camps off tempo. If he's taken away your camps and you're not doing some weird thing where you're running into his jungle, you're getting collapsed on by laners or thing, let him take your camps. Your camps are going to respawn. quicker than his camps on that second rotation, as long as you get back to it on spawn, I tell people.
And he is
you're
slow
going to be
clear?
caught up. Yeah, and he is, especially like, the AoE camps.
Yeah, he has a strong early clear because he does that thing where he sets up boxes, but he can't
Just the
do
first
that.
three camps.
That's
So those are
exactly
the
right.
first three
First three
camps.
camps.
He can rush, and that's why he can get on the map quick. Level 3 gank. But if he's like having to run around the map slowly, he's actually quite slow.
Interesting.
So you just ignore him, just play your game. And then also the big one is the fighting aspect of Shaco. So people, especially lower ranks, they just run into Shaco. You need to view Shaco as a singed. If you just ignore Shaco, get a little chunk, small win, and just completely ignore him, just go instantly back off. Don't chase him for the Q or chase into the box. Like, you've got to be, Shaco's a champion, you've got to be happy letting him go on 30% HP. Any other champion will be dead, but he's just gone. And then if you instantly back off, Shaco gets annoyed. Shaco plays like, I want
Because they're trying to waste your
into.
time.
They're just trying to waste your time.
Yeah.
And force you into really bad positions.
Interesting.
So, I've never had a problem against Shaco. I probably have an insane win rate versus Shaco because Rek'Sai, obviously I can see him.
Yeah, you're a bit
stealth.
tankier as well.
And also if he gets in melee range, just one shot him and I can R as well and see him in vision.
But
You
tying
can
into
see him when he's in Fizz. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage,
It's a pretty
right?
big one, guys. Come on.
Well, Nathan, tying into you've got this philosophy, right, where you say, like, again, champions that where like they get rewarded
by you running
by
into
you
them.
running into them are typically good in solo queue. And
People
Shaco-
like playing for kills.
and
Yes.
and Shaco
Chasing
is
kills.
that.
Yes.
Right?
Shaco's the ultimate punish for chasing kills.
Isn't that what
for sure.
Pinkward does? He like sits up the boxes in the top lane, sits around in low HP. The enemy jacks or whatever will try and kill you. Runs into one box, goes back a bit, runs into another box, and just ends up killing themselves on the box.
You just ignore push waves, shoving
Yeah.
waves, pressure. Like you have to like play fully the map and just literally think
It's
that
not
that's your
intuitive.
champion.
It's definitely
No.
not intuitive. It's so. I guess to summarize again, it's one of those champions that you just got to really not fall into the trap of playing his game. He's a mini game champion, right? And as long as you're aware of what he's trying to do, he's trying to waste time, be that mosquito, kind of basically draw you into weird scenarios. As long as you're playing in accordance to your champ's identity, you're valuing your life. You're playing with your team because, correct me if I'm wrong as well, he struggles when
Yeah, I mean, team
you're
fighting's
grouped.
quite shit. Like,
Yeah, your team fighting's
especially
hard.
AD Shaco, the team fighting is just garbage, by the way. So
You
he's
just need
purely
to not
looking for
get
assassins.
flanked. Like, I'm imagining situations where I've died to AD Shaco in fights, and it's like I'm overextended hitting a tower. He gets a good Q over a wall with Hail of Blades, and just like he hits me from behind. But if you're just kind of grouped up, setting up at objectives properly, maybe you've got a pink ward down. He can't play the game. In fight. He can't team fight.
I'm just visualizing you saying that now as the Shaco. I'm thinking like, what do I do in this fight? If they see me in vision as well, if they know where approach from angle I'm approaching from, I'm useless.
So AP Shaco's way better, more team fight oriented.
Yeah, so AP Shaco, if you get AP items on your first base, that now makes your champion more like basically AP, and you're pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Absolutely useless until you get like your first. Honestly, I'll say one item's like an okay spike, but 3 items is when he becomes fully online, basically. So
Where does the damage come from with AP Shaco?
the boxes and the clone explosion.
The clone explosion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where I've seen Curtis, like, it's like the Simpsons meme of Sideshow Bob running into the rakes.
Yeah.
And that's what I was imagining Curtis in solo queue. Because you win a fight and then you go to like push a lane after
Yeah.
you won the fight, you walk into a rake, it's like, ugh.
It's like Teemo. It's like Teemo.
So
It's the same
bad.
thing.
I think it's worse than Teemo. Walking
Yeah.
into a Shaco
Yeah,
box.
I
It's so
agree.
annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying, the fear. And, people might be saying, well, this wacky advice Nathan's given to, like, ignore the Shaco, but he's on top of me or hitting me. And, that's the tricky thing about Shaco. You can kill him, but you also don't want to chase him. So that's the thing where I guess people lose their minds a bit. But in general, if you have your number one frame of mind planning as a Shaco, I'm just not going to chase him at all. I'm instantly going back to camps, instantly recall, just happy to let him run around and just be, zero deaths. You actually have a lot of success. And I've found that massively in the students that I coach and also my own gameplay.
And to summarize Shaco before we move on, you should definitely make a mental note whether it's AD or AP. AD, they're going to be looking for assassinations on split targets.
And suck at team fighting.
And suck at team fighting, so you want to be grouping.
Yeah.
Versus AP, right, he's going to take a little bit longer to come online. So don't be as scared to play as...
And don't let him get to first in areas. So
Yes,
if
try and
he
control
doesn't
chokes.
get to areas first,
He's
as
useless.
AP Shaco, absolutely
Yeah,
useless.
absolutely useless.
This is where he's weak as well, because like I think your advice around like not chasing him is kind of based on a bit of a melee champ and bruiser bias. If I'm playing a high damage carry, I will literally one-shot a Shaco. So like you can kill him, but you need to make him come to you. It's like the
Yeah, it's
opposite.
the other way around.
So I've played games as like Caitlyn again. If I'm sitting in a bush and Shaco stands on a trap or gets hit by my EQ auto, he's literally one-shot, dude. He's the switchiest
Full glove
champ in the
cannon.
game. Okay, but let's just really, really crystallize like the learnings. How do you play against Shaco? So I think the first point, which we can all agree on, is in the early game as a laner, you want to
stay high HP.
Stay high HP.
I see
Perfect.
junglers just
Very
fail their
practical.
first 2-3 ganks and they're just dropping farm like crazy.
Yep.
They might get a flash or whatever it is, but if they go and gank a lane,
panic.
they don't even get a flash and you're full HP. Ganks are good, ganks are bad ganks. Doesn't matter if you're playing Shaco or any other jungler.
And it's about playing percentages because you might think Nathan just told you to play high HP. How do I win the game? How do I have agency and win? But it's playing percentages. You're basically denying his champion his entire win con, and maybe your champion becomes a bit worse because you can't leverage your early strength. But that's the percentage
relative.
That's all the best you can do. You're making the best of a bad situation.
And I would say on top of that as well, you know, if you are suspicious that Shaco's in the area, make sure that you're like dying or blowing flash in a high value way.
Yep.
Like don't make it easy for them, right? That's like something I always say because a lot of the time Shaco might try to burn your flash, but like make it hard for them, right? You know, again, be hard to kill. I would say the second one is really make sure that you're again, like I said, identifying AP versus AD.
Yep.
Right, it's going to change your playstyle. If you're versing AP, really make sure you're making an effort to get to neutrals first.
and get more aggressive in the early game. Like
More
you can
aggressive in the early
beat
game.
him
You don't
up.
need to be
Yeah.
as conservative.
He doesn't really want to
He's not
fight.
gonna- He's going to take a while to come online.
Yep.
And if it is AD, stay grouped, right? Try to stay grouped. Try not to be split too much. And really think of it, it's like you're kind of versing like a Rengar, kind of, in a way. Like a soft mini Rengar when you're versing AD Shaco,
You
right?
can't be on waves on your own.
Exactly
That's
right.
a good point, yeah.
That's really it.
Okay, so next up we have Naafiri. Now, Naafiri definitely wouldn't have been on this list, I think, a few years ago. Obviously, the rework and
the new Naafiri, yeah.
insanely high win rate right now. We talked about it in the mid lane episode. Its ban rate's like, insane. So Naafiri's kit, put in the perspective of people playing against Naafiri, you've got a W, which avoids towers, and, you're invulnerable.
You
Really
enter the
annoying.
Shadow Realm.
Yep.
Just can't get hit by anything.
You've got an E, which is a jump, and you've got an R, which
Dash
is
over
a
walls with the E as well, not just the
Yeah,
jump.
so
You
you
can literally
jump over
dash over
walls.
terrain.
So there might be a trend of dash in, jump in,
Mobility. Yes, I
mobility
agree
in
with
a lot
that,
of
yes.
a lot of these ones we're going to explore. And the R is a point and click shield that resets, and you can get another.
And
one.
it's a reset. Yeah, you can get two.
And the Q heals as well. So like it's a really annoying kit. And the way we teach Naafiri in the Jungle Academy, we literally call Naafiri the mosquito. So already that's
Mosquitoes
literally-
are annoying.
Mosquitoes are annoying. You go in and out, you jump, you pick your windows, like very low committal type champion if you don't have to. So yeah, it's another kit that is just designed to make people lose their minds.
I completely agree with this one. I think another thing, it's not just about the kit. It's a champion which is probably more annoying the less it's balanced around its numbers. Like, doesn't it just do a shit ton of damage? Has crazy scalings. It abuses items as well. That voltaic build that Naafiri has at the moment, very
Well, at the
annoying.
moment, right, like I do think, with Voltaic, Naafiri is quite strong. But I just in general, I think the people in Midland Academy, they always say, like, there's just so much mobility, that he can just get onto me. I feel like I can't peel Naafiri away from me. And I think that the giant thing that a lot of people don't understand with Naafiri is the damage is very, very like it's reliable and heavily unreliable at the same time, right?
How is it unreliable?
Okay, well,
Missing
your Q
Q. Yeah,
is a
missing
very
Q's flat
short
out.
range, hard to hit skill shot, right? So if you miss your Qs a lot of the time and you're not in melee range, you're not going to deal any damage, right? So if you compare Naafiri to a lot of other assassins, their actual damage ability is more reliable, right? It's not
Like a Akali Q
right, Akali Q,
or Akali.
yeah, or even like a like a
Fizz
Z.
Q is point and click.
Yeah, well, Viz or even like a Z. That damage is more, in a way, more reliable. Like, but the thing with Naafiri, you need to land the Q and the Q2. You need the Q1 and Q2 to proc the passive.
But isn't that easy because you're on top of them by then? And you've
Okay,
like,
so
you've
but
R over
okay,
with R.
yeah, totally. Then you've got the W and E as two gap closes in a way, right? Kind of the W you can movement speed and the E is the dash.
Yep.
But that's the thing. It's kind of like I kind of liken it to versing Mel. Once you understand the mobility aspect of Naafiri, the W is an incredibly high cooldown ability, right? You can't use that all the time. And your E it's a pretty short dash. It's not like a Kassadin arch. It's quite short. It's a little bit shorter range than a Kassadin arch, right? The jump. So if you're kind of keeping distance into a Naafiri, and you're not allowing her to land both the Q1, Q2, she doesn't really do a lot. And then her damage, the bulk of her damage, relies on her getting on top of you with her Halo Blades or something, with a Voltaic or whatever, and just, eating your face off with the dogs. Now that's a lot of damage, but it's all predicated on her getting in range.
I tell you why it's not intuitive about the whole Q is that because think about what you dodge typically in League of Legends. It's you're thinking about dodging a Morgana Q, a Blitzcrank Q, like key CC abilities. Yes, there is, Xerath Qs or, that clearly do big damage, but I think people just don't think about dodging Naafiri Q.
Yeah. No.
That's because it's not that intuitive compared to like a big skill shot or big damage because you have 2 Qs, by the way. So what they do is they don't think about dodging the first Q, then they're going to get hit by the second Q.
Yeah.
Because the first Q is not actually that much it's not a big obvious
It's not a big
ability.
explosion.
It's not a Xerath
It goes
Q.
even further than that. It's a champion that doesn't look like it should have that spell.
Yeah.
Champion. Okay, 2 other champions that I like in this too is Yorick with his E and Alawi with her E. They're fucking melee champions. Why have they got a skill shot? You know
It's a
what I mean?
weird
I
thing.
genuinely think there's something psychologically going on there.
Yeah, which is like actually their most important.
Yeah, it's
ability.
literally
like,
their
and that's what, you're at such a good point. It's like their design's weird. Their melee champ, but their ranged ability is insane.
Okay, so
It enables them
that's
entirely.
really important to know, but I also think it's really important to understand that when people think of Naafiri, they think of a fed Naafiri. Because when a Naafiri is fed, she snowballs like crazy. She can snowball like crazy because then you don't even need to land your Q at that point. Because then you're Eing in, you're Ring in, you're Wing their key CC ability, and you're just mincing them down with your auto attacks, right? So, but you could say that about any other assassin, right? Any assassin that gets fed. But then, I do empathize, right, in saying that if a Naafiri does get fed, she can be very, very, very obnoxious. Probably one of the most obnoxious assassins to deal with because of how reliable.
Yeah, the point and click are.
The point and click, again, you got a point and click.
High range, which follows your flashes, follows dashes.
That
can't be
is
interrupted.
annoying.
Just,
But the argument is like, how is that Naafiri getting fed in the first place? It's not easy to get those initial kills.
Yeah, the gank in early game is really bad.
Very jungle specifically. Your ganking's pretty dog shit in early game. Exactly.
just got to
right.
clean up.
And early lane, a lot of the time in Naafiri, nowadays most people know how to space your E and your W and things like that. So you're not getting ahead early. So yeah, it is a champ that can snowball. I do agree that she is annoying. I'm not disputing where she's at in the list. Like, arguably,
I'd put her S tier personally.
Yeah,
as well,
she is a very good solo queue champion. She adapts to the chaos of solo queue really well. She has great skirmishing. Well, she's snowballing, whatever.
Jennifer is a he. It's a dog. It's a dog.
She's a dog. That's another thing, Curtis, we haven't mentioned, by the way. People are annoyed this champion, and I agree with this, because the fucking little dogs block your spells.
Block skill shots.
That's also another thing. So
yeah,
every
yeah.
single part of the kit is annoying.
Yeah, no, totally.
Didn't even.
But what I'm saying is that one thing I would just push back on is that, again, if she's not snowballed, she is useless. She doesn't really do. She has no
full
utility.
damage, no
She has
utility.
I
zero
agree with that.
utility, full damage.
Now that I'm thinking back to my own experiences, it's very 100 or 0. It's like
Yes.
Naafiri is either complete dog water, just dies to an auto attack, can't get any value, or 1v9 in the game.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I'm honestly, Naafiri's a little bit like a Shaco singed as well. I think like sometimes you just ignore her. Like if she's like behind or whatever, all she's going to do is try and buy time and waste you and misposition you. But if you just ignore her, she's going to do nothing. in
Yeah,
the fight.
she's either fed and snowballed, in which case you need to allocate a lot of your attention towards her and really heavily peel, or she's kind of useless.
and just kill the rest of the team.
So I think Naafiri is a good champion at playing against for teaching 2 things, right? From an AD carry or carry perspective in general. Number one is like holding key CC abilities for that champion. So ideally you're waiting out her W as well. If you can go in, wait for a W and then use CC, very, very powerful. And also just the idea of a good death. Like if you are with your team grouped around an area and you're with your other members and the Naafiri dives on you and you die and the Naafiri dies, probably a good thing. That's usually
because in reality, the R2, right, the second R doesn't have a lot of use cases in many scenarios if you're dying in a good way, because their W is down.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have already had to use their W to kill you in the first place. So if you're dying, then they're just going to be, a lot of the time, should be trading 1 for 1.
Yep.
Again, assuming that she's not snowballed like crazy, right? So
Yeah,
again,
it's not like she can build Zhonya's or anything like that.
No.
There's no survivability once she goes
yeah,
in.
she a lot of the time, and if she is going a lot of HP items and more bruiser, then she doesn't have as much burst. Right? There's a trade-off. You're either seeing full lethality Naafiri, in which they're trying to literally one-shot you, or they're going fighter, which is less burst, and you have more time to peel back and reposition, right? So they're kind of 2 different identities of Naafiri in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, very annoying solo queue champion. Just really make sure you're not allowing her to snowball in the first place. That's the bigger problem.
Interesting.
Specifically for laners, if you're a mid laner struggling against Naafiri, really pay attention to your spacing on the E, really making sure that you're punishing that W cooldown, making sure that you're engaging in horizontal movements to avoid the Q1 or Q2.
I think a lot of the assassins, people try and solve the problem when the problem's already too late.
Agreed.
And also like we have like VOD questions channels in our Academy Discords where people can post clips of a sequence and then we give them a reply on how to solve that problem, right? And they ask a question. Oftentimes, if it's an assassin, the problem isn't after the assassin is on your screen. Because once the assassin's on your screen and you're like alone or vulnerable, there's no combination of button presses you can do to stop the Naafiri killing you. The problem is, how the fuck did you get here in the first place? And why are you standing on this wave alone? Why is that Naafiri already fed? And why aren't you like more grouped with your team and just waiting, being a bit more patient? I feel like people with assassins, they're like, look, he killed me here. How do I not die? But it's like, no,
You got to
rewind.
It's like preventative medicine. You need to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because imagine if the champion couldn't do that, then the champion's just the worst
It's like
champion.
bug
Exactly
spray
right.
with the mosquito. You've got to put the bug spray out before you go outside, and then the
Yes.
mosquito can't get you.
Good analogy. So that brings us to Zed now. All right. So Zed is. This is so funny to me. I'm always just convinced with Zed they just can't win games. Like people, I feel like have put this here. They die to it, but they still win the game.
No, this is bias though. I think in low ranks, I mean, we could look at win rates.
Let's look at win rate.
Well, Zed's win rate's actually,
Zed actually-
it's
it
not
wasn't even
that
that bad, yeah.
bad. It's actually higher than I thought it would
I
be.
want you to look at it across different ranks and compare the pair.
All right. Well, you guys yap away.
Zed,
So
I
Zed,
mean,
okay.
You play Zed. What is?
Well,
why
everyone
people
hates Zed. A
tested
lot of
Zed
people
first?
hate Zed. AD carries hate Zed. Mid laners hate
Just
Zed.
mobility
Junglers
again,
hate Zed. Support everyone, probably mine outside of top laners, probably
Yeah, top
hate
players
Zed.
love playing against
Yeah,
Zed.
exactly right.
If I could pick one champ to play into Zed, I'm playing Renekton into Zed. Oh,
Yeah, exactly
that'd
right.
be great.
So Zed is one of those champions where like it's kind of like once you understand where the damage comes from, it's like the fog kind of dissipates. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
Sure.
Zed is surrounded by this like cloud, and inside this cloud is like, okay, where does the damage come from? I feel like he has all this mobility. I feel like he can burst me anytime. He has too many dashes. He can go everywhere. And so once you like understand how the kit works, the fog dissipates and you're like, there's actually a lot of counterplay. The damage is actually not nearly as guaranteed as I thought it was. And then so again, it's kind of like a knowledge test champion. I feel like Zed is a champion that a lot of people, it's incredibly intimidating. It's like, oh my God, what the hell? This champ looks so complicated. He does all this shit. And if you don't take the time to learn how the kit works, you will just remain, you'll just get obliterated by the champion, right?
So when you coach people against Zed, they just don't know.
They genuinely don't know where the damage comes from, and they don't know how the kit works. So specifically, they don't understand that Zed's W, how long the W cooldown is. That's what they don't understand. They don't understand that the R doesn't do a lot of damage unless Zed is landing multiple shurikens. So they think the damage comes from the R. The damage doesn't come from the R in a way. I mean, it does, but only if Zed is landing a lot of damage before the R pops.
Because the R damage is influenced by how much damage you deal to them between the R1 and the R2.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So if you understand, okay, well, Zed's just used his Q, he has no W, and he's just R'd onto me. If I just run away, the R's not really going to do anything to me. But what you typically see is they will just walk into the Zed. They'll walk directly next to the shadows. They'll get all the shurikens popped on them. And then, of course, they're going to die.
Right.
Or they don't know how to they're not thinking, okay, Zed's already used shadow. I can just cut away from the shadows. And he has no way to stick on top of me. Or if Zed goes in just with R, I can hold my CC insta CC because
Time it when he comes out.
Because
Yeah.
most Zeds, especially in the lower level brackets, don't know how to like W first and then R, and then because there is that you can't insta pop back with your R.
No,
when you
that
go
was
on with
actually a
R.
nerf they put in like
Ages
probably
ago.
ages ago now.
And but so now, obviously, when you get higher up, then they'll W first and then R, so they can pop to the W after the R, right? Because it is instant. So my point being is that like I totally understand, and I was there myself. With Zed being a very obnoxious champion, but I would, if you fall into this category, whether you're an AD carry, a mid laner, a jungler, whatever, literally play 3 normal games of Zed. Go on YouTube, right? If you're not in the academy, and literally just understand the basics of the kit. Watch a few, like one video, whatever, on a Zed player, and screw around in normal games, and the fog will dissipate. I promise you.
I think we got someone right into Mailbag once where they said, I thought Zed was OP, and then I played him in a normal game, and he's shit.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah, no,
literally...
guys, Zed has a horrendous win rate. So in Emerald Plus, it's 40. It's like number 39. Syndra has a higher win rate, 49.49%.
Yeah, I thought it would higher win rate in the lower ranks.
In Master Tier, in Gold, in Gold it even gets lower, 48.48%.
Okay.
And then in, where was it, Master Plus is 50.73, like number 23.
So it goes up a little bit.
Yeah, it goes up with
which
high
makes
ranks,
sense.
but it's still really
hard to play.
Yeah, very hard to play.
So that's what I'm saying. People put it in here. They're dying to it. It's really annoying to play in the game, but they're still winning the game.
Well, yes.
Well, it's also for types of players that are voting for Zed are probably players who play squishy, immobile champions who he's carrying maybe the negative side of that win rate.
Agreed. I think if Zed snowballs and gets 4-5-0, no matter how difficult his mid game is, a lot of the time Zed will kind of brute force that game because they're just so out of control fed, right? So like I do think that Charlie has a point there. Like
also a Fed Assassin does remove the agency of particular classes of champions, right? Like bruisers are going to have an easier time at beating the Zed.
But it's so interesting because like Zed is so like I understand why Naafiri is in the position it is comparative to Zed, because if Naafiri's damage is like unavoidable in a way, right? When she's fed, but when Zed's fed,
there's so much counterplay.
There's way more counterplay. So like this is where I just think it's just a complete knowledge. It's a knowledge gap. It's a knowledge test. Zed is a knowledge test champion.
I agree. I mean, as an AD carry who plays a bunch of squishy champs every single game, I've never once cared about Zed being on the enemy team. Never considered banning it. Never really worried. Very easy to play against. He's very telegraphed. You know exactly what he's going to do. You know exactly where his shadows are. Some Zeds are freaks and they're really good. And then awesome, well played to you. You did a fucking sick combo, whatever. But they're very committal.
Yeah,
very
I'm not
squishy.
annoyed when that happens. I'm
exactly
like, yeah,
right.
well played. You're a good player.
Because think about it, it's so honest. Like, I know he's going to ult me. I know at some point he's going to fire this one spell, and if I have good mechanics and I'm prepared and Prime Momental Stack, I can dodge it, and then I win. And if I don't dodge it, I lose.
Simple.
It's so fair. I
It's
think
so fair.
really
It's more fair in a way than Naafiri, whereas Naafiri, it's like, Fed Naafiri will miss Q and still one-shot you.
That's the frustrating part. And I feel like Naafiri Q is easier to land as well, just generally.
Or Naafiri will just auto-attack you with one auto with R, E, you're dead, right, if you're Fed. But
and
Zed
the dogs
needs
will
to
block my
land a Q.
stun and bloody hell.
And with the statistics, Curtis, you actually are right. Like, Naafiri has a 4% higher ban rate than Zed. Zed has an insane ban rate at 31%, but Naafiri has a 35%.
That's what I'm saying.
35%.
Like, if you're banning Zed,
Naafiri.
you should be banning Naafiri instead.
Yeah.
Naafiri also wins way more games, right, Nathan?
Yeah, she's one of the
Naafiri has
highest
a
win rate
much
champs in the
better
game.
win rate.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I personally disagree with where this is placed on the tier list from the community. I think you guys in the community need to step up your game understanding, take some time to play the goddamn champion, and figure out the tier.
Or just look at the result of your games. Like, if you're a platinum
being so
player,
emotional.
you've won the game. Who cares that you died?
It's interesting. Before we move on, I do think like Froxon speaks a lot about this, like how, famously with Mel, right? How unintuitive or how like dissatisfying it is to lose to a Zed. And I think a big part of this emotional spike with Zed is that it does feel incredibly shit to get WEQ'd in the face by a Zed.
Yeah.
That combo, that one specific combo, right? Because think about it, your W is this non-committal like thing, and then you E, so you get slowed, and then you get hit by this massive chunk of electrocute proc a lot of time, boom, like a massive amount of damage. And then you can't even counter trade because it's so long range. And if you try to engage with Zed, he'll pop to the shadow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this very like frustrating, like bullshit in a way trading pattern. But again, the moment you're priming your mental stack with it, you're moving horizontally, you don't get hit by that shuriken. The fog emerges, you start to realize, okay, well, is that all you can do?
Isn't
right?
WE incredibly short range?
Not really.
Is it not? W in because I understand the Q part, but
because the E, think about it, the W has the range, and then the E is AoE around the W, and then the Q extends from the shadow as well, right?
Yeah. So the Q part I get. We're getting hit by the extended Q, but I mean I don't.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's like a super short range ability, but it's not long range. It's
like
more just mid range.
In the mid game, I feel like no one's getting hit by W.
It's more lane. That's what I'm saying.
Laning phase.
I think it's lane.
So you think it's mages in lane getting frustrated?
Agreed.
And then in the games where people,
I think that's the bulk of it.
Right, and then it's just Fed Zeds one-shotting you, where people are pissed.
Exactly.
All right, next up in our tier list, we have the A tier. And in A tier, we have Smolder, Rengar, Heimerdinger, Akali, and the famous Mel.
A good plethora of champions here.
Yes, so now talking about some AD carries. Charles, Smolder, you've played a lot of Smolder. Why do people hate Smolder? Why is it annoying? Is it just the scaling? Is it the execute, the basically Elder Dragon buff on a passive?
Yeah, I think I can easily explain why people are pissed at versing Smolder, right? It's a combination of two factors that kind of influence each other. Number one is that Smolder has a much higher win rate when the game goes on. And in the vast majority of games in like below platinum, games are very long. Smolder just wins those games. He's an infinite scaling champ. He's not capped by items because he scales indefinitely because of his stacks. You get 500 plus stacks. You're actually a raid boss. And his damage is really easy to get off in the late game as well because of the way your Q works and like the point and click nature of everything. And the AoE, you hit the front line, damage the back line. So it's very annoying to verse because it looks like it has no counterplay and it infinitely scales. And then also you couple that with the fact that how to punish him in lane is actually quite unintuitive, and people really struggle to punish him in lane.
But I guess people lose their minds. They feel like they're on a timer, and they feel like they have to punish, and then they just ruin the game with that as well.
They overforce trade. Because the thing about Smolder and the misconception people have is that he's like an ultra weak laner.
He's a strong laner, isn't he?
He's not strong in the sense that like a Caitlyn is strong or like a Varus.
It's not weak though.
But he can win short trades.
Yeah.
If you take a good rune setup and like take some like Comet or even Fleet and like double adaptive and you hit your W in lane, W's fucking important.
W is the most important ability on him.
Yes, W is where your attention should be. You need to avoid the W. If you get hit by a WQ and Smolder can just disengage after that and just like mosquito you down, whittle you down, very, very annoying. But what people try and do is they see the scaling Smolder on the enemy team. So it's like, okay, I must trade into the Smolder. I need to win lane. I need to kill him. And then they short trade and lose, and then they get pissed off. And then the second you fall behind versus Smolder as well, and he can CS on the clock and get his stacks, it's very hard to verse. So yeah, that's why people are pissed off at him, for sure.
I think Smolder's also annoying because he's not easy to kill, right? He often like the mobility he has is it's not a... He can dash over walls with it, right? And he gets what, movement speed? Is it you get movement speed with it as well, kind of?
Yeah, so it's not a dash. His E, basically what it does is it allows him to traverse terrain.
Yeah.
So you can go over walls and stuff.
Yeah.
And it gives you a burst of movement speed.
Yeah.
But it's not like a dash. It's not, I don't even know if I'd call it mobility. If you're near a wall, it's really useful, like a fat wall. And you can use it to dodge spells, but it doesn't like move you at all.
But the movement speed is so important because it's a burst of movement speed. You can use it to kite things.
You can. It's like Inara's basically. You can use it to dodge stuff, yeah.
Like I find Smolder very annoying because if let's say I'm a mid laner moving into the side lane, there's a lot of AD carries like I can catch. There's a lot of AD carries that like I can make a pick or I can engage on them or I can do something. Smolder has the durability from the R, which is very, very annoying. And then also is this can fly around and it's hard to land my skill shots onto him. So it feels like there's a lot of other scaling AD carries that are either I'm fine with them scaling because either they're just so weak in the early game that I can run over, I can kind of influence the game in a way before they become relevant, or they're just so weak in certain scenarios where they're just so vulnerable that I can kill them. Like if I think of just traditional scaling AD carries, like I'm thinking of like a Twitch, I'm thinking of like a Cogmore or something. Like even like a Vayne, they just take a little bit longer to come online, and so Smolder is very annoying in that sense.
I mean, Smolder's just a way more modernized champion, right? He's not as hard to play as those champions, not even close. He's also easy to play. Stuff like if you just rock up in the mid game and you have the reference point of I'm going to group up on waves and I'm going to poke around my rapid fire cannon cooldown with my Q and just do that is so frustrating to verse. Imagine being on the mid wave and this bloke just you E forward actually more than you E backwards in mid game. You E forward to get in range for a rapid fire Q and then run backwards. And it's like a chunk of your health. AoE splashes onto the rest of the team and just repeat that. It's so hard.
It's a great solo queue champ.
I agree. I mean, I'm biased as fuck. Smolder's literally my most played champion. This split, I have like a 74% win rate on something. So much LP on that champ.
LP printer,
so much fun.
Yeah, Smolder is the only champ we've talked about so far that I like mentally check out sometime in games.
Smolder direct size is so
it
good.
gets to the late game, I'm like, okay, I just didn't win the game close enough. Like, well played. Like, I sort of feel like that they deserve the win.
It's the champ for me out of all the champs that has the least counterplay, I think. Out of all the champs that we've made, like, it's not saying it has zero counterplay, but it's the least clear. Like, if you think about all the champs we've mentioned, there's clear...
Well, there's counterplay for bot laners, which I'll get into. But yeah, once you get into the mid game and you're versing a Smolder who's CS on the clock, then it's...
So what do bot laners need to do? How do people beat Smolder? What advice would you give?
So Smolder's biggest weakness is he loses extended fights. So if you have any champion that runs lethal tempo or runs combat sums, which most ADs do, or spikes on one component, then you need to force trades but commit. The problem with the people versing Smolder is they force trades but they don't commit. Smolder is incredibly cooldown dependent. If he Qs a minion to last hit it, he has no spells. If he Ws you and misses, he's useless.
So it's kind of like a Jhin.
Yeah, very similar to Jhin. Exactly right. These champions like Smolder and Jhin, they're very weak to champions like Twitch, Vayne, Inara,
What about like
Zeri.
Lucian and
Lucian's a short trading champion, but
Right.
like he's also
Kai'Sa?
Lucian does more damage than you, so Lucian can win, but you kind of have to play a bit differently. Kai'Sa, yeah, Kai'Sa can do well versus Smolder. Again, if you take the extended
You gotta
trades.
play it that way.
All of these matchups can be insta-lose if you get hit by Smolder W and he runs away.
Right.
But if you, like the biggest advice I can give versus Smolder is if you're a support or an AD carry, track his cooldowns in lane, and then when he has no spells, just throw yourself at him and you will win. Like I've played so many games into Smolder as like a Yunara where you can like make the game over in 15 minutes because if you just take one good fight extended, you'll just auto win.
Yeah, once he's behind, I found that he's completely
Yeah, it's piss useless.
Yeah.
I get
Really
really
useless.
angry at small, like when I've got a Smolder, it's like, because I want to get dragons early and stuff. I'm like, the conditions look okay for a dragon, but the Smolder's just completely useless in the
Yeah.
fight. And like,
Because when it's a
the Smolder,
committal
like,
fight,
go
yeah.
into like the fight in the river, like your dragon, like I'm
Yeah,
thinking like a
interesting.
7-minute fight or whatever it is. You probably tell people just let your team rot to that.
Get off my screen.
You know, and that's frustrating for me as a jungler. Like, I want to get this dragon.
Interesting.
I literally do not have an AD carry. It's on the same level as an Aurelion Soul in my eyes. Like I have the same situations in those dragon fights where we get clean 8, like 4 deaths, and it just comes down to I had a Smolder, I had Aurelion Soul. Wow.
Why are you fighting those dragons?
Well, because the conditions look good. Like it's typically
You're like prior.
Yeah, like you would get dragons most of those situations.
Yeah.
But I got a Smolder.
Yeah, but his chance can't play fights. I mean, Smolder especially as well. Like, if you can try and fight him a lot pre 25 stacks when his
Yeah.
Q is not AoE, does way
That's
less
like a pretty
damage.
big reference point for
Pretty-
Smolder, right?
Very good reference point, yeah. But a common misconception people have on Smolder is that you need 225 to start fighting. I don't believe that. You need 125 before you start fighting. Once you get 125 stacks, that's when your Q starts doing the splash. That's when you can start kind of doing a bit more.
All right, Rengar is our next one.
Wait, hold on. I think we need to talk about like mid game against Smolder.
Sure.
Because like that's all laning advice. Like that's fucking useless to a top lane.
Oh,
How does
mid-game, I just thought it was just, we're just
Yeah.
moving on.
Me too. Yeah.
I have nothing for you.
just lose the game? No, I mean at the end of the day, like don't view Smolder's E as this like get out of jail free card. It's good, but it's not like completely OP. Like if you can negotiate situations as a top laner or a mid laner or even a jungler where you can get flanks on the Smolder and have multi-threat, that's his weakness. So he's really OP at front to back, probably the best
Insane,
front to
best-
back, insane.
yeah.
But you need to get behind him. If you can find a way to play the side lane to kind of have multi-threat and come from behind, then he does struggle to team.
But you could say that about any AD carry.
Yeah, but I have to give advice.
Right.
I have to tell people how to verse it.
Right.
If it's a Fez Smolder on the enemy team, don't come from in the front.
Right.
That's
Fair
just
enough.
general advice. It's very general advice.
Yeah.
But I have to say something because people
Yeah.
are going to say like, "What? How do I beat him?" Because you guys just said we just fucking lose. If Nathan's playing Rek'Sai and he holds his flash, finds a creative tunnel into flash on Burrow
Yeah, but
behind me,
I
I
would
will
just
die.
say that's what you got to do in general versus any Fed AD
That's
carry.
exactly right.
Yeah.
correct. And I will be repeating this advice with the other Fed Eddie carries
Nice.
on the list because that's
Respect
it.
it.
Well, it's true. You look at games, people just don't do that.
No,
So
they don't
it's-
do that.
True. They
They
just
make
give
my
up.
life very easy. They come in front, I'm just like, and then run away, and then run away, and it's very simple.
True.
Rengar.
This is where I'm going to say there's no counterplay, by the way. So-
Yeah, I mean, I'm even a jungler. Like, all right, so you know, I play Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is actually really good into Rengar. I actually will win games against Rengar, but it's still really annoying. So
You know what I'm noticing as a trend, just a tangent here. Nathan's champion's very good into bullshit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It does well into all the bullshit champions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the cleanse, the empowered cleanse and the heal. The heal sometimes I just don't understand how it heals so much.
The double W.
The double W, the boulder hits you. It's like feels like the longest. The boulder, the bowler.
Skarner Q. Yeah.
It literally just feels like it's the longest CC ability in the game.
Yeah, the empowered bowler. Yeah.
And then the R, all right? Like, you know, just sprinting on
The
people.
movement.
Okay, so
speed
let's just
in
bring it
the-
back
Oh,
to
and also
reality.
obviously jumps in the bushes.
Let's just bring it back to reality. Rengar is one of the best solo queue champions
Yes.
in the game. Right?
He was actually voted by a lot of high elo players, by the way. When I was doing
Yeah.
the numbers on this, Master Plus players pretty much voted for Rengar.
Yep.
That's why he's so high.
So again, what was that? Natty Nat, right? Rank
Yep,
one.
rank one
in
Korea.
all servers, basically, with Rengar in EU, basically permaban. Korea got rank one, right? You know, I think every high elo player basically agrees that Rengar is probably one of the best solo queue champions in the entire game. And it's a champion that just scales with just like game understanding, right? There are freaks out there, OTPs, that will break the game with Rengar, right? And
for two fronts, from like a mechanical standpoint, so that's why it's a really good OTB champion, because there's a lot
Rewards
of
mastery.
there's a lot of
mastery.
outplay,
High skill cap,
a lot of outplay potential, but also knowing, because your R's on a long cooldown. If you stuff up your first couple of R's, you're gonna have a rough time. But
End of review.
we did a case study on that in that, right?
Yeah.
So if people are curious about that, you can get into that. But
Yeah,
he was
I'll link
so disciplined.
yeah.
Right?
He would
So
not
disciplined.
take R's. Like, he'd only go for R's if it's 100% guaranteed kill, high percentage.
So let's talk about like why Rengar is so frustrating. Again, another mini game champion, right? Warps the game. When there's a Rengar in the game, you have to play in a particular way, right? Why? Because his engage range with R in stealth, the amount of duration he's in stealth is unbelievable. So he can traverse a lot of distance. You get movement speed, he's stealth, and his burst is really, really reliable.
The way
And
that
also
manifests
lane
them.
ganks as well, by the way. So
Oh, yeah.
Through bushes.
bot and top laners have to play with the mind that Rengar is in the lane bush.
No, I just tell people to die and move on. No, seriously. If
Yeah,
a
there's not
bot
much
if
going
a
on.
bot laner
Sometimes there
dies
isn't
to a lane gank or something, I'm like, yeah,
Well
well,
played.
I would have died there
Okay.
too. Just like, yeah.
So this is the thing, right?
Because you can't ward for all that.
No, because the mindset is if you play around the Rengar constantly being in your lane bush, then you're not going
You
to
can't
win.
play the
You're not
game,
gonna
yeah.
play
You
the
just have to
game.
lose the game, yeah. I mean, sorry, lose lane. Not lose the game. Really.
So this
just
is
have
the
to
thing,
die.
right? When you're versing Rengar, the counterplay, obviously, you need to be obsessed about him using his R.
Yes, R cooldown.
R
yes.
cooldown, that's a very big part of it. You need to be grouped, right? You can't be splitting off by yourself. So you have to warp the way you play the mid game,
Yeah,
right?
you can't contest wave solo.
You have to focus on grouping on neutrals a lot of the time, right? Which is really, really important. And oftentimes you might even need to itemize something differently, whether you're getting a little bit of armor so you don't get one shot, or you're getting a Zhonya's, you're getting something that is going to mitigate you getting one shot,
Skill
right?
caps and shield bow. Very
Yep,
good. into
shield bow
Rengar.
thing, exactly right. So again, it's not that it doesn't have counterplay. It's that it warps the game in a particular way and can have impact on multiple lanes at the same time. So champions, this is why I have a narrative versus champions like Evelynn, right? Because Evelynn and Rengar are some of the only, and even maybe Nocturne to a certain extent, that can have impact on 2 or 3 lanes simultaneously if you don't have vision on them.
Yeah.
So the top laner and the mid laner and the bot laner have to play as if, we don't know where Rengar is. He has shit. I have to be considerate of that because I could die at a moment's notice. So that pressure, the amount of pressure that you can exert on the game is extremely high. Right. And it's even better than Evelynn in a way, right? Because Evelynn's damage is like, it's a little bit slower. Right? Like, I feel like it takes a while for Evelynn's burst to get off, like the charge up on the charm or whatever. And
I just have no recency bias with Eve. Like, I have recency bias with Rengar because he fucks me up daily. But Rengar, I mean, Evelynn hasn't one-shot me in months.
right.
There's no Evelyns in the game anymore.
Not
No
as
one really
many.
plays everyone, yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with where this is on the tier. I would actually argue this should have been an S.
This should have replaced Zed.
This should be
I
replacing
agree, I
Zed.
agree with that. I agree with that.
It's a
'Cause
very,
again,
very
it's
good
the
champion.
point-and-click nature of the damage as well.
And the amount it warps the way you have to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, the feedback I would give to a lot of people who struggle against Rengar in the mid game is it's a lot about just saying no, conceding pressure, being very patient, waiting for your teammates to be in position before you do things. If you feel like your teammates aren't going to like peel for you and be on waves with you, then just chill out.
And stay away from
Wait.
brushes. Fight in the middle of the lane. ARAMs are
Yeah.
really good against
ARAMs are
Rengar.
great against
Like,
Rengar.
if you have really good control wards and you're not fighting around brushes in certain moments, you're at least considering brush access. It is something that can give you a bit of an edge.
Also, playing slow. Rengars, from my experience coaching Rengars, they panic when they're not R'ing for a long time.
Yeah.
They do panic.
So
That makes
but
sense.
that's the difference where Natty Nat just didn't. So that's why he's
Yeah.
like rank 1 Rengar.
Well, this
but he...
Yes, he would hold his R.
But
yes.
yeah, people let Rengar lose the game.
Well, this is the thing, right? I think champions like Rengar and Shaco specifically, the reason they have not as high of a win rate as you'd think they would is it's all player error. You know, it's user error.
misunderstanding of the champion.
Yeah. So, like, this is the thing. Like, with a lot of these other champions we're talking about, the unreliability of the champion is tied into the kit's limitations. The champions that I think with Shaco and Rengar, or specifically Rengar, is the limitations are not on the champion. The limitations are on the player. That's why, like, Natty Nat broke the game, right? Getting rank 1 with that crazy win rate. Like, that's the thing that I think I don't feel comfortable with Rengar. I mean, I guess he has to be in the game. He adds that spice level into the game. But I do genuinely think the champion is overpowered. I do think it is a broken champion that is just not piloted well by the majority
That's
of the
right,
population, the player base.
Yeah, because if you do stuff like stay high farm, say no to bad plays, use all of your own powers perfectly, like it's kind of
You can win most games.
Because I'm pretty sure he had like a 90-something% win rate to like mid-master.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing that just completely blows Riot's mind when it comes to like balancing it. You've got this Natty Nat who's just playing the champion flawlessly, and then some people watch Natty Nat or Rengar, and then in Silver Gold, and they're just like, this is the shittest champion in the game.
But then because they're skipping camps, they're doing
yeah,
weird
but then it
shit.
gets nerfed because of Natty Nat. So it's like, you're saying, Curtis, it's overpowered, it needs to get nerfed.
Yeah.
But then it's just going to be
It's just locked.
unplayable for the whole player
But
base.
I think that's
except for
fine.
Natty Nat.
I think champions that are Halo locked, some of them, as long as there's not too many of them, is healthy for the game. Like I do think champions need to be balanced for
Elos.
for elos in a way.
Certain champions should.
It's like Azir, right? Azir can never be good in gold and good in GM plus.
Well,
they can't coexist.
I'm a bit worried about. I mean, Zeri just got buffed on current patch again. I'm a little bit worried. Zeri is one of those champs for AD. Where
agreed.
Very slippery, very annoying, can kill all 5 people.
And I do want to say
Hard to
that as
play.
like a public service announcement. Whenever you start to see champions with high skill expression that are good in lower elo brackets, that is a red flag, right? If you see Yone having success in silver and gold, buckle up. There's something going wrong.
Something's
right?
wrong with Yone.
Something's wrong
Yeah.
with Yone, right? That is like my bullshit detector with any of these high skill cap champions.
That makes sense. So yeah, is that good advice for Rengar?
Yeah.
Are we happy-
Yeah,
we're
I think we've covered that,
Happy
yeah.
with that?
All right, next up we have Heimerdinger. Now, this is obviously massively top lane skewed for our
Pretty
top
much
laners.
exclusively top laners voted for
laners,
this. Carried the vote here.
which was surprised me even higher than Vayne, by the way. So like,
Interesting.
and to think Vayne top is like, typically counters a lot of the champions, but Heimerdinger, people lose their minds around.
I think Heimerdinger is very common, and his counterplay is less clear because he people also don't like versing things like, I hear this word a lot in Top Lane Academy because I used to coach in Top Lane Academy, was interactivity. They don't like versing non-interactive champions like Gragas. The Gragas was voted for a bit as well. We're not going to talk about Gragas today, I don't think, right? But similar thing. So Heimerdinger is the peak of non-interactive League of Legends, where if you try and interact with him, you are losing the
But
game.
that's just so that's terrible, right?
Yeah, because top lane. I mean, think about the fantasy of a top laner. Let's say I'm Brad from fucking Gold, and I'm finishing work, and I want to queue up and play some Darius, and then I have to verse Heimerdinger. Like, get off my screen! Like, I just wanted to finish work and go
And solo
fucking
kill
swing my
someone.
axe around, and now I'm versing this bloke with turrets. It's like,
and I can't do anything for 15 minutes.
Yeah, my job is to hit one item and then maybe play the game. Like, it's pretty fucked up, actually.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's a very unfun experience to do. And like I always say when people say, "Oh, I struggle with this Heimerdinger," I just say, just farm. Let him lose the game. He's going to auto shove waves on repeat, catch waves, and he's just going to be a useless champion mover. He's going to lose the game at some stage.
And just don't let him get to places first, and then you're all A-okay.
Yep.
Like the champion
Champions don't do that either. They over side lane in the mid game, from my experience. They don't actually have the mindset of setting up.
You know what's so funny?
objectives.
I worked with this Heimerdinger player in the Midland Academy for a while, and I got him to like master tier, like really quick. And a big part of that was just be there for neutral objectives.
Skip
But no
waves.
one does that.
Yeah, no one does that.
Very few Heimerdingers do that.
Yeah, think about the best Heimers that you verse in solo queue. It's the ones they camp a bush and then they just one shot you from the bush and then move around like a sniper into the next bush.
They do,
Who's that guy on us? Is it Joffler that does it on us?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one guy who's really, but you have to be like a fucking mad genius to play Heimer properly.
Yeah, it's just a weird minigame champion.
Yeah, it's
But
actually not about the lane. That's not where he's like particularly strong. It's about those one shots in the mid game.
But most people are probably voting him for the
lane.
lane.
Exactly right.
The
For
uninteractive lane.
uninteractivity of playing Darius into Heimer.
So I would agree. I think this is a really it's an annoying champion, and you're going to ban it because you just don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I just want to play League of Legends. I don't want to play Heimerdingerville. You know, whatever this is.
So I asked Chippies about how to play against Heimerdinger, really practical advice as a top laner. And his first comment was non-interaction is best. If he has a combat sums up and conk, you cannot kill this champion 1v1 just flat out. Play for farm, as you said, Curtis. Use your teleport advantage to gain a resource and item lead, since most Heimerdingers take CB spells, or combat spells. Yep. Bleed his mana pool. Try to bait him to use E's and W's to run him out of mana.
Win the war of attrition. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, he's very tied to his mana.
And try to get your jungler involved pre-6 before he has 1v2 potential.
Good advice. I like it. So Chippies is a coach in Top Lane Academy, by the way. I'll link his channel. But yeah, I think people are going to want to hear some tips and tricks for versing Heimerdinger, but they're pretty boring tips and tricks, aren't they? It's just like, just let him do his thing. I think a lot of versing boring champions is just keep your distance, let them do their thing, and win later.
And if you are behind in tempo and you know Heimerdinger can get somewhere, just trade off that neutral.
Yes,
go
exactly
somewhere
right.
else. Drag him around the map.
Because he's
Heimerdinger
immobile.
has no
Yeah,
mobility.
he's so slow just
Like
plotting
he
around
can't
the
just
map.
plot around, and it takes him time to set up his turrets and get in position, right? So the reality is that if you're playing the tempo game in the mid game and you're not running into him and you're dragging him around the map,
running into him again.
Yeah.
It's always
Right.
running
People
into him.
run
it's
into
very, it's very, very obvious counterplay. That's why Heimerdinger is not a good solo queue.
Yeah, it's why it doesn't work when
Why it
players
doesn't work.
stop running into him.
Well, it's actually funny you say that because, like, Charlie, me and you, we've been playing some Counter-Strike recently. Me and you are noobs.
We run in.
And we run, what do we do? We run in. That's
you run in more than me.
Run
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do run in. All of us run in.
So it's fun. It's fun to run in
It's
places.
such a good. I love that.
Is that a
'cause
good-
that's
that's
other
what it's
people. That's what other
That's what people do in
doing.
League. They just
You-
run
right.
in.
being patient in video games. People do not want to do that.
Have you
As you
noticed-
said, Chad, or Brad, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's
Brad's
just-
running in. Brad's running.
Brad from
gunning.
California gets off the surf, comes in, just wants to play
Yeah.
some.
He wants to rush B, but it will.
No, I'm thinking of who's the UFC, Robert Whittaker.
Yeah,
playing.
Robert Whittaker playing Darius. He just wants to
that's right,
get
he
out
wants
the
to get in
UFC
there.
gym. He's just cracked a few heads in the gym. Wants to come back and crack a few skulls on the rift. That's it.
I've noticed every single champ so far has either been an assassin or a champ you shouldn't run into.
Yeah.
By the way, one of those two categories.
Nathan,
Let's see if
this
that
is really
continues.
working well for Nathan's philosophy.
Yeah.
Solo
I
queue
think the next
philosophy.
story was Mel Akali in this list. So there you go. Assassin, champ you can't run into.
Yeah, so Akali.
Cancel the episode. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Just
Really,
We've got the
copy
solution.
paste.
So Akali. So I always do think I've said that in the mid lane episode. Last one, Akali's the best champ in the game.
Akali would be in my S tier next to
Yeah.
Naafiri personally.
It goes through my ban rotation a lot. Just creates chaos. Just too much survivor, too much gap closes, too much dashes, does
Too much
a lot of
damage.
damage.
Seems to have a
Help
pretty
us.
strong lane as well for some reason. It just seems to do pretty well in lane. Like farms with the.
Yeah, if I see Akali get a solo kill like level 3 versus a range champion, like what's going
Yeah,
on?
Like the passive auto just seems to do too much damage. Like the poke is easy to land.
So yeah, we understand why Akali is annoying. Do we need to
Yeah, so
establish it or
okay,
not?
she's a high burst assassin, right?
With point and click as well. More
with
point and
with
click.
also a lot of mobility, a lot of like the shroud, which obviously a lot of people find annoying, right? You can go invisible, stick on top of you. She's very sticky. She's a very sticky champion, right? Especially when they're going gunblades. You got the gunblades slow,
Yeah.
your Ring, your Ing, your W movement speed, the movement speed on the passive. Like there's a lot of shit, right? I would just say a lot of people don't understand a few things about Akali. She has pretty bad wave clear. Right. So there's a lot of champions that you can kind of just, she really struggles to kind of play the mid game in a way whereby, yes, she has very strong dueling capacity, but she struggles to maneuver the map because of the low wave clear. Like a lot of other, if you think about a lot of other assassins, you think about like something like a Zed. Zed's just one-shotting the wave. Boom,
Can Akali
shoving,
not do
moving.
that with like a couple of Qs?
Nah, because if you either use all your energy and then you have to use your W to get your energy back, and your W's on a long cooldown, or you just don't really have that great wave clear, especially in the
Right.
early stages of the game.
Okay.
Right, so it's actually hard for Akali to get to fights and play the early game, or people just tempo race on you in the early if you're struggling into Akali. But most people voting here are probably just dying in mid game. So I would say a few things. Akali's damage is very unique comparatively to a lot of other assassins. It's not upfront damage. It's a lagging thing, right? So Akali's damage comes from the E does a lot of damage. Obviously the R2 execute does a lot of damage. The Akali's passives, right? Q plus the passive order does a lot of damage. So it's like staggered, right? So a lot of people just shit themselves when they see Akali. Oh my God, Akali jumped onto his R. Oh my God. But you need to just slow down. You're not going to get one shot immediately. Just try to make sure you're not getting hit by the E. So if you have to engage as a movement or a dash, you have some movement speed in your kit, avoid the E and kite out, right? A lot of the time, if you don't panic, it's like it will be hard for Akali if she's not landing that E damage. She's going to overextend. She's going to get too far away from her shroud, and then she's just very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you're running into her shroud, you're running into her, and you're allowing her to like just stay in that shroud, to in and out.
But in saying that, I do know that you know her being in her shroud is when she's
She's the most scary.
most scary. But like the fact that I like when she's lower, I know I can kill her. The interaction will have to like go there and just stand there and wait for the shroud to like disappear.
Well, she's a melee counter. That's
That's
the way
the
you think of
most
it.
annoying thing.
Akali is a melee counter. That's the way you want to think. She's
Really?
always traditionally the way back in Direwolves back in the day, we always interpreted Akali as a melee champion counter. right? She's good against auto attackers. That's what Akali is best at. And she's actually one of the few assassins in the game that also can beat a lot of top laners. She can beat a Camille. She can beat a Fiora. Because these champions...
Okay, they're a bit squishier. So like the squishy, I mean, like a Viego. Akali
she beats every... Like, think about any low, auto attack based champion. Because her Shroud counters auto attack based champions. That's what she does.
That, and then people are getting one shot, like Nami Karma lanes and things. So she's also good against strange
obviously
squishies.
She's good against hardcore squishies. She's good against low CC, and she's good against auto attack based champions, right? Yeah. So that's really it. So if you hold your CC for her, or you have any reveal, or you basically play around her cooldowns, she's not. She struggles to have impact. So I would say my biggest advice into Akali is be hyper aware of her cooldowns. Has she wasted her E? Has she wasted her W? Right? These are very long cooldown abilities. Are you actually holding your CC? If you're playing an AD carry, hold your key CC peel ability for when she dives in and peel back. Are you playing support? Hold your key CC ability. Wait for her to emerge from the shroud, kite back away from the shroud, and hold your CC.
Supports that's a good advice. So a lot of supports and junglers need to change the way they team fight when an Akali's in the game. They stop diving the fucking enemy backline and start peeling the Akali. A lot of supports can ruin Akali's day. You said Karma. Karma's good into Akali. He's got a reveal in the W.
My Karma still die though.
Soraka, Karma, Lulu, even Nami to some extent. These because she can interrupt the dashes. Like these enchanters, if piloted well, like I've seen Cupcake, our support coach, do really well. This can fuck up an Akali's day.
Annoying.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools that can ruin Akali's day.
There's a lot of enchanters that are actually very annoying for Akali because Akali doesn't want to have to. Because
Janna as well, annoying as
Akali often is not going. Usually, more often than not, they're going some burst oriented build, right? They're going Electro, they're going full burst, right? Some go Conqueror, more sustained damage, but we're talking the majority, right? If she goes in and doesn't get that one shot, she's very useless because her cooldowns are so high. Once her R's down, her W's down, she's a minion. Just ignore her, right? She won't do it. She just dies, right?
Yeah.
So all you got to do is thwart off that initial engage, that initial one engage.
And you're just saying that one CC ability sort of stops the train, derails the train. Because
think about it. What Akali has to do to kill someone, she has to R in. She has to stick on. She either has to land the E or R and stay on top of you for an extended period of time to get the one shot. She's not just going to R you and one shot you. Because remember, the damage is multiple things. So more often than not, what happens is that if you get a good enchanter player, the enchanter or even the support, the Leona, whatever,
anything Rel,
if they're going to CC them long enough so that the AD carry can just peel back, get well away from the shroud, and then if Akali does go any further, they're just trading one for one every single time. So that's the thing with Akali. It's all about peeling back. That's the counterplay to Akali. And don't just run into her and allow her to just like pop in and out of the shroud and kite you around. That's what you don't want to do.
Okay.
Mel.
Yeah, so I think everyone thinks Mel's the most annoying champion in the game, but maybe people are getting a bit better. Can you just double check on the ban rate of Mel? Is Mel still the highest ban rate champion in the game?
I think that, people are just...
Or if Riot's propaganda team helped reduce the ban rate.
I think it's just the win rate. Yeah, the ban rate is still 23%. But
that's lower than it was. I think it was like in the 30s. It was like high 30s when we did our last episode where Froxon did the roundtable.
Because I think people... is it the Riot propaganda or just people just know...
No, it's real propaganda. It's
the win rate is horrendous, 46%.
Yeah, it's truth. I mean, it's just the truth. People stopped banning it because it's another chant that gets banned but doesn't win the game.
Yeah. It's falling into that trend, right? I think Mel is one of those champions where, like, again, once it's like I said about Zed, once you understand how the kit works, the vulnerabilities of the kit, it has very obvious counterplay. But if you haven't played Mel yourself and you don't really understand how the kit works, it's very mysterious. Because
so when you say the kit, it's not so much the reflect shield. That's the obvious thing. It's the way the damage works. Is that what you say?
Well, so what Riot have done to Mel is that they've massively nerfed the E. The E is a very underwhelming ability.
The E is the shield.
The E is like the big
W
AoE.
The shield.
Yeah, W is the root. It's the root.
It's the root. Yeah, it's the AoE root thing, right?
Yeah.
So it has way less wave clear. It's very unreliable to land. All the damage from Mel now comes from the Q, basically the passive, right? So your W is not really dealing any damage. Your E is not really dealing any damage. Your E has way less wave clear because back in the day, you used to have a lot of wave clear, which give you a lot of lane control. That doesn't exist anymore. So now you're like this glorified kind of like poke mage, but there are other mages that are way better at poking you down. So, you know, I just think that as long as you're not giving her in a massive reflect, right? You're trying to use offense as defense. You're not sitting under your tower, cowering and like pretending she can do everything the whole time. And you're moving, you know, quite rapidly. You're not just standing still and getting hit by every single Q. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I think a lot of people do. What they have a mental block. They automatically assume she's got this massive reflect. I can't trade onto her. And that's really it. People just, I guess, have a mental block. They don't really like...
Stop trying to kill her so much.
Yeah, stop trying to... and also as well, like, trade damage with her. I would disagree. I think trade damage with her. Make the lane a little bit messy.
Okay.
Like, I think if you play non-interactive in a way where it's like, I'm just going to sit back and chill, she will poke you down.
Doesn't it depend on the kind of kit you have? Like, if you're playing like Ari, do you want people to walk up and try and go for a charm combo, or are you taking
no? You're playing
non-committal
fast.
trades?
You're going for Qs through the wave, offense is defense.
And if you make her use W on a Q through the wave or something, that's huge. That's a massive.
Yeah, she
win.
just
That
wasted
does
it.
open you up.
Because remember, Mel has massive mana cost as well. She uses W once or twice in lane. She's Oom.
Okay, good.
Right? So what you want to do if you're playing Ari, which traditionally was the biggest counter, Mel countered Ari. Nowadays, people you just walk up the lane, auto, Q through the wave.
Yep.
High value Q, ideally through onto the Mel and on the wave. Auto. If she walks up to you, stand your ground, W auto as well.
Yep.
And you will win those trades. She will start to go Oom. She uses 1 or 2 E's, 1 or 2 W's, she's your Oom. And then you temporary it and get back again. And then you just play.
This is exactly what I say when people first Mel bot as well.
Yes.
It's another champion where if you let her just play the 100-0 trades where she Qs from max range, she will whittle you down.
Yeah, she'll
but if
whittle
you
you down.
force extended fights where you're actually auto-attacking with lethal tempo and going forward and trading your HP for her HP.
You got to trade HP.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But yeah, there's some drafts where Mel is really annoying, though, I will say.
Yes.
Like,
if Mel gets to the point where she hasn't been punished, she's been allowed to free farm, and she has great reflex, then she can be a little bit of a nuisance, as she should. She's a niche.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree.
That's
if
her
you pick
identity.
a late in a draft, like I've had a game yesterday where I was Ashe, I had a Seraphine, and we had a TF mid.
Yeah, I mean, think about the amount of reflex, insane reflex.
It's crazy.
And those are games that like Mel should be good, because if she's not good in those games, then where would she ever be played?
Yeah.
Right. So the last thing I'll say about Mel is I would tend to agree that the kit is, I'm not arguing with the fact that the kit isn't annoying to verse. Okay? Like, I don't disagree with that. I just think that she's too high up in the list here because she has way more counterplay. Like, she's just not effective. I think that, like, what I'm noticing, some of these picks, some of these champions are like emotional choices.
Yeah,
where
so I can't do things that I
there's
want
things
to do in the game.
Exactly right. I want to do these things and I can't do them. Versus like this champ is genuinely strong. Like if we compare Naafiri, right? Naafiri is both in a way where like there's some things I can't do that I want to do, and she's really effective and wins strong and wins games. Versus like Heimerdinger or Mel or like even Shaco to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Shaco,
It's kind of emotional.
Just
in
let
a
them
way.
just be useless.
Let them, and you just got to play their mini game.
Ignore the issue.
Yeah, in a way.
I'm going to bring it back to Chad queuing up, you know, like people want to play the game.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we're on B tier. So B tier, we have Twitch, LeBlanc, Mundo, Akshan, Talon, and Varus.
All right, there's a lot here, so let's start.
It was Varus top specifically.
Okay, and Twitch is.
So what are we starting with?
So we'll start with Twitch. Is it Twitch 80 carries?
Yep, Twitch 80 carry. And Twitch is voted for by hyper carry players and probably by the large amount of Jinx players in Bot Lane Academy, because Twitch hard counters Jinx. Why is Twitch banned? Why is Twitch voted on this list? Why is he annoying? Because he ruins your fantasy of just being able to farm up, because he goes invis on every wave and threatens you. And he also stat checks you and is a very good duelist as an 80 carry. So if you're ever left alone on a minion wave, the Twitch has ulti, he could open up and just kill you.
I swear to God, that's the advice against Twitch. Just don't be alone on mid wave.
Yes, just wait for him to show before touching the minion wave. And that might feel painful. And again, yes, that does reduce your agency. And yes, it does mean you can't shove and move as well. And you might have to say no to a few plays. But the Twitch will ruin the game. He's one of those champions where it's hard to play. It's hard to pull Twitch off. You need a lot of patience. And if you don't give Twitch those assassinations, he will not work well.
Twitch is counted by like every other role. Like I feel like 80 carry is the one role that doesn't deal well with Twitch, but every other role, like if I'm looking at a Twitch, I'm like, oh my God, no matter how fed he gets, like I don't give a fuck. If that Twitch is 10-0, I don't care. I can kill that Twitch.
He gets hit by one spell and he will drop. Right?
He's one of the few 80 carries that just has no self-peel.
Yep.
Literally, I think like most other AD carries at least have one form of like reliable self peel, right? Like a
Twitch
Jinx
has
trap or whatever. He has nothing.
So this is what I made a Twitch guide. I can't remember how long ago, earlier this year, right? And the way I teach Twitch, the way I learned how to play Twitch, was as a flanker. There's a misconception that Twitch is like a front to back AD carry because he has the AoE autos. You're not. You can't front to back because you will just get like killed. Basically, you have to find creative engages, wait for the fight to start, and then mop up kills. He's really good at. He's an assassin. He's the only assassin AD carry. And if you don't give him those assassinations, he will not win games. He cannot play a normal game.
You just got to have faith that your teammates are going to deal with him if you don't die in those certain moments.
Ping his roams as well. He'll often roam mid in the early game, especially post 6 against mages. If you ping those roams, it's
interesting that we're saying this because it's actually the same mindset I have whenever Shaco. Whenever Shaco, my mindset is, okay, if I don't die to these ganks, I'm sure my jungler's going to get ahead. That's what I think. And now whether or not he does, it's fine.
Well, but it's the best thing you can think.
It's the best thing you can do. It's like, I'm not going to die to these ganks. All right, jungler, you better do your job pretty fucking well. Because I've done my job to not die to these ganks. That's kind of like my
more often than not, that will happen.
Yeah.
Like they've shown
the playing percentages. Yes, it will happen.
And people might be saying, oh, they didn't do it in this moment. But like, if you have that mindset for
eventually,
eventually
there will be an opportunity where they'll
like, what else are you going to do? Just die to the gang?
Yeah. It's like have a tantrum.
Yeah, exactly right. Also, it goes without saying, Twitch is a very weak early lane. Yeah. Like, it's not ultra weak, but specifically levels 2 and 3, he's not very strong.
It's another minigame champ in a way.
Yeah.
Less of an obnoxious minigame, but still a minigame champ.
Yeah, definitely. You actually need to actively put him in your mental stack.
Yes.
You need to ask yourself on every single wave crash, okay, could Twitch kill me here? You need to have the protect yourself at all times mindset versus Twitch.
As we're going through this list, you'll realize that all of these champions that we're talking about, they will require you to allocate a disproportionate amount of your mental stack towards them.
Yep.
Right? When there's a Rengar in the game or a Shaco or a Naafiri or whatever, like you got to actively think a certain way. Like there's knowledge about each of these champions. In a way, what we're doing with this list, actually, funnily enough, it's actually a very practical episode because everyone who wants to get success in solo queue is going to have to face these champions. Yes. You can't ban them all. So you need to know each and every one of these champions, what they want to do.
Yeah, you have to know their fantasy.
You have to know what is their ultimate reality. What does this champion absolutely want, and how do I deny that?
Yeah, exactly right.
That's what you're trying to do.
That's the whole game. The whole game is you deny their thing.
Deny their thing. If you deny that thing, you will likely win the game.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of, like, I would say most of the roster in League of Legends is not that. It's more about, okay, well, you have your thing you want to do. I have my thing I want to do. And then we'll just battle it out. They just clash. But these champions are going to override whatever it is you want to do because theirs is more like pronounced.
Yeah, their identities are so clear. And they don't really have a backup option.
No.
Like if Twitch can't do that, then he's dog
Exactly
shit.
right. So it's almost like all their eggs are in one basket.
Yeah, they are.
Right? That's the way you want to think about these champions. Their eggs are in one basket. And if they can do that thing really, really well, they will override whatever it is you want to do. That's the way these champions all work for the most part.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I keep going to refer back to the Zed. Like all these champions, the way I mentally visualize this is all these champions that we're talking about, they're shrouded in this this mist of confusion. And again, if you're going through this video and you're like, oh fuck, I just don't know anything about this champion, you absolutely have to really spend your time to think about them and clear that mist away. You see the champion for what it is. What are its well-defined strengths and what are its well-defined weaknesses?
Yeah. One easy thing to do versus Twitch as well, I learned this the hard way playing Twitch, place pink wards in the mid lane, in the mid game. Because that's where Twitch goes is to assassinate people. He likes to go down mid. So defensive pink wards on your side of mid, in the middle of the lane, he'll often go for those stealths in and you'll see him on the pink wards.
But people won't be saying that what doesn't matter. He R's and the range R is higher than the control.
Well, you need to be behind the pink ward.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, to use that. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, people just aren't on control on top of themselves. For some reason, that's what I thought. But yeah, that's probably not the way to do it. All right, next one is LeBlanc, which I absolutely agree with.
Really?
Yeah, junglers just have this really hard
Was this voted by
time.
a lot of junglers? Was
Yeah,
it?
was it?
No, all mid laners.
All mid laners.
All
Interesting.
mid-laners.
Well, junglers just
Coach
have a
Rank
big...
voted for LeBlanc, the current rank 1 player on our server. He said LeBlanc was the most annoying champion in the game.
Like, okay, I'll win a game versus LeBlanc, but it's sort of the same interaction. Like, I got to sort of ignore her in a way, but not. Like, I can one-shot. And this is just talking from a jungler.
To be honest, I don't know how to beat LeBlanc. I don't know. A good LeBlanc is really annoying. She's very squishy. You just got to be aware of her. She's just like any assassin.
She can go, only kill one person. Oh, so many of these champs are assassins, by the way. Just
but-
do a lot of damage and one-shot you.
LeBlanc's not the same as other assassins though, because she can go in and out.
Yeah, so that's the thing. LeBlanc's X factor is she has two things, I guess. High mobility.
Yeah.
But also she can go in and out.
Yeah, that's
right.
the
There's
annoying
not
part.
many assassins that can go that far in and get out exactly to where they were before. There's just not a lot that can do that, right? So that is her X factor. The trade-off though, LeBlanc's damage, obviously, you know, her damage ability is the mobility, right? Her W, right? So you can use your W as a gap closer and as a form of mobility, but then you're not doing as much damage, right? Because that's a big part of your damage. But the other thing as well is the damage again is very conditional. Right? Because the damage comes from a lot of the time procking the sigil, right? And you can only proc the sigil with another ability, right? So you're either getting like a QR, or you're getting like the EQR or whatever. You have to proc the sigil with something else or a W. So it's a matter of like, it's very dynamic in that sense. So I would say most people struggle into LeBlanc because they don't know where the damage comes from. And it's a matter of like you said, Nathan, I do agree. You need to let the LeBlanc trip over themselves. If you kind of like panic and you kind of allow LeBlanc to snowball and get out of control, then yeah, she'll be a problem. But LeBlanc really struggles in mid game, right? Her mid game is not easy. It's very like if she's in a team fight, it'll be very difficult for her to deal damage. Most LeBlancs are just going to fall behind and farm.
They have no farm. They never farm.
They can't farm. They can't really keep up with side lane pressure. They will lose a lot of duels. They'll miss their skill shots in a team fight. They just don't have reliable damage, you know, fundamentally. So my biggest advice, try to like stay on vision, like keep your vision clear. Like if you know where she's coming from, like don't allow her to flank. Don't walk into don't face check bushes. Like let your front line do that. Like
stay away from walls.
Stay away from
in
walls.
the middle of the lane.
Like it's more about just occupying your mental stack with it. Where is LeBlanc? And if I don't know where LeBlanc is, play as if she's there. Like that advice is very simple.
Quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
Like Fiddlesticks plays very similarly to LeBlanc.
She's a fog warrior. She needs to use fog. And if you're actively considering fog, okay, I don't know where this LeBlanc is. I'm going to allow my tanky members to let your Braum go in, let your Jarvan go in, let your Zinzao go in, let them go in first, whatever. Right? Let them create the space, get your vision down. Once you've got your vision placed and you're sitting around an area, LeBlanc can't really do anything. Because the moment when she comes in, it's very linear. It's super, super linear. She's going to come in a straight line for the most part. If she gets hit by one CC ability, she's dead. She's full glass cannon. So like that's my biggest advice. Like just be very, very mindful of fog. And then let her beat herself because she'll panic. The moment she can't get those engages off, everyone's starting to be considerate of her flanks and her coming from the side. She will trip over herself and she'll die. She'll get one shot and die.
Yeah, I just want a easy champion to gank in all three lanes. Like LeBlanc honestly can be easy to gank. You do.
Nah, she's tricky because
she's tricky.
The passive is annoying as well, right? Even if you get on top of it and she doesn't have W, she does the passive,
and then also
which is annoying
the
as
double
hell.
thing. Well, because LeBlancs are trying to solo kill the opponent all the time, so
they want to R in
and they
a lot.
Yeah,
that's a big part of LeBlanc's reference point is you want to use your R on cooldown in the early lane. As soon as you get 6, you want to use it basically on repeat.
What's the best combo? Is it just like Q, R, W?
Well, in the early game, you don't have points in your Q, right? So you have most points in your W.
You max W first, do you?
Yeah. So usually what you'd want to do is you'd want to like
It's QW.
You'd want to usually the best combo, the best like damage combo in the early stages is actually you start with R for the with the dash, right? And then you want to get your W on them. Because your W will deal more
damage.
damage.
With R. Doesn't R mimic an ability?
Yeah, so let's say you've used W for like a trade or whatever, or on a wave for wave clear. You would wait for your W to come back up, and then you'd actually start with R.
Cool.
Because your W will deal more damage than your R. But then later on, when you get points in your R will deal more damage than your W.
It's pretty complicated, man.
Yeah, so you want to get on top of them with your W, basically.
I never thought about using a spell, waiting for that to come back up, and then using R and then that spell again. That's quite interesting.
I would say that's like your bread and butter, like combo, or again, double distortion, EQ, auto, whatever. Those are both fine.
It's only just triggered in my brain now that you said double distortion that our mid lane coach named Distortion is named after LeBlanc as a LeBlanc.
Yeah, so if you're a LeBlanc player,
yeah,
I didn't know W is called Distortion.
If you are looking to learn LeBlanc, we have Distortion, a coach in the mid lane academy who is arguably one of the best LeBlancs in our server. Very, very good LeBlanc player. So Got that as well.
Next up, we have
And Tim Mysterious, an amazing LeBlanc player.
mid laners. Like a good LeBlanc is really scary and really annoying.
I think Mysterious has an awesome video on his YouTube channel called like I spent 10 years making a LeBlanc guide or something.
He has an amazing LeBlanc guide in the Mid Lane Academy. He's got
you
one
go.
at the moment. It's an exceptional LeBlanc guide. So if you want to learn LeBlanc, we've also got that as well in the Mid Lane Academy.
All right, next up we have Dr.Mundo. Now, Curtis, this would be on your S tier last year. Is he still on your S tier?
Probably not as much now. Last year it was like permaban. Right.
Yeah, there was a period
It
of
has
time
been
where
nerfed significantly.
There was a period where it was
You're talking about jungle
Mundo. I was
yeah.
concerned about. It was out of control.
Because he's not going to have the weakness of his lane phase in the top lane, and he's going to be able to scale. Is that why?
It was more that for me anyway, speaking of my narrative with Mundo at that time was he does so much damage and he's tanky. It's just that simple. Like I can't kill him. And he was like two-shotting me.
Yeah, the E auto just did too much damage.
It's too much damage. I don't mind versing a tank that I can't kill. I don't really give a shit about that. But like, don't three-shot me or something, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, nowadays I just ignore Mundo for the most part. Like, you know, like you peel
I just
back.
think he just dies.
Just
now.
dies.
He just dies now. You build some heal cut, he dies.
Yeah.
I think it's actually quite simple.
So who voted for Mundo? Was this in what academy? Do you remember? Who voted for? Was it Jungle?
It was
top?
actually quite a mix. It was quite a mix.
Yeah, it would be 80 carries.
No top. I don't think any top
No,
laners
you
voted
wouldn't.
Mundo.
Of
It
course
was
not.
mostly ADs and a bit of jungle.
Okay.
Not really mid laners.
It's just one of those champions where, you know, I guess the major annoying thing about Mundo, right, is the you can't CC him. Like people get really annoyed about that, right? Because most champions are going to run in, you got to peel them with your CC.
Yeah.
He's one of the few champs that like, okay, I got to CC him twice,
Yeah.
which is not overly intuitive.
But if he didn't have that, he would probably be the worst champ in the game.
Worst champ of the game, yeah.
for sure. I mean,
I always feel like there's at least one champion in the game that can deal with Mundo. Like whether it's an
That's
AD
right,
carry,
yes.
a mage, or like there's some like shred. There's someone with shred on in the
and if you
team.
pick him in those drafts where you're versing like a Jhin AD carry and like a Galio mid, yeah, you'll lose
Yes,
the
you're
game.
1v9.
And that's fine. Just lose that game.
Yeah, you just lose that one.
That's
game.
okay.
People just can't accept that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying. That's like, I'm just going to most likely lose this game because we don't have, percentage damage to kill Mundo.
And what you do, by the way, if you're the Jhin in that game and you sense that that's the draft, you just need to play Psychopath early game and try and win that way. That's what I would try and advise. Because those games are winnable. I don't want to say they're unwinnable, but your chances,
games.
once the game goes into mid game, it becomes harder and harder to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be more advice more so for other roles who need to step up and carry the game versus Mundo. Like junglers, as a jungler, just do play the game. Like,
Play the game.
Play the game, do your thing. Like Mundo can't really, his ganks are really shit.
I mean, would you ever say like, okay, you've only
Play
got
the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's your fucking advice.
No, it's true.
That's
Just,
so
just
funny.
do your own game.
No, but would you
and play
ever
your own
say
game.
like, okay, I've got one champion that can deal with Mundo in this game. Like, this guy cannot get behind. Have you ever thought like that?
No.
You've never thought like
Really?
that.
No.
Really interesting.
Actually, this makes it. I played a game with you. I was playing Vayne into Mundo, and Nathan weak-sided me.
did you win?
No, we lost.
No, we will going to still win that game.
We lost.
No,
No further explanation required.
The person that I played through top lane just completely threw the ball.
Okay.
But
Because it was an Aurora into Mundo. It was an Aurora top.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I do as a mid laner think about that stuff.
Feed me.
Like I will actively think, okay, the enemy have this XYZ comp.
I mean, a little bit.
I will consider that. I'm not gonna put all my money on that, but I definitely consider.
Yeah, but
that.
as a jungler again, you can't like force stuff. Like I didn't feel like
you
bot
can
was
play in a way that emphasizes a lane, though.
you can, but
Okay,
there's
I'll pose
certain
it-
moments in
now
the
the episode's become how to
well, I'm
how
gonna
to
judge you on
jungle.
this.
How to
I
jungle.
disagree with this.
there's certain moments in the game, Curtis, where like I'm just like starting to just kill top or top's heavy trading or mid, and I just get distracted by.
But
this
this
more
same as a mid laner,
percentage.
I could go both sides, right? Sometimes I could gank bot or I can gank top. Sometimes I'll literally play away from my jungler because I know that I need to protect this
Okay,
person. If they get behind the game's hard, so hard. Happens all the time.
Okay, I'm just thinking not about more so like mid to late game. Absolutely huge emphasis. Like in fights, I'm
Sure.
thinking about that, peeling them.
He means like
resources.
first
I'm talking about like
12
that,
minutes,
that
something like
first,
that,
yeah, well, that period of like 8 minutes to like 14 minutes. Just a weird period of the time where
I mean, that's where like I don't know.
can't just
Isn't it
hard
like so? You're trying to balance win con assessment with opportunistic.
yeah, like
play.
I want gold to
Like
get
Curtis,
to
when I
win the
watch
game.
him play, he's a lot of win con assessment.
Yes.
Like very heavy emphasis on win con assessment.
Yeah.
He'd rather make like correct me if I'm wrong. You'd rather make a mediocre play for your correct player than make a good play for a player who's not going to do shit that game.
I mean, it depends what the advice is for. Like that's real. Win con assessment and all that is really, really important. High, like high elo. But as a jungler, you want to get gold to win and carry the game.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Right.
But it has to be a factor that you're considering.
It is a factor.
Nathan just doesn't trust me to carry that game.
Yeah. No, I've used
interesting.
an insurance policy. So, like, there's no way, you know.
Oh, you think I'm going to be strong anyway?
Yeah.
Like,
You're gonna
I'm
get
just
into it
thinking of
anyway.
a scenario, right? I don't want to spend too long on this, but like, I can't let this go. Let's say, for example, you've got like a matchup mid. Let's say you got like a LeBlanc mid, right? And it's a LeBlanc versus something you know that there's highly likely you can kill mid. Like maybe LeBlanc versus like an Orianna or some shit. And you could probably gank mid and kill mid, right? But then if you were to go there and like say you're playing a jungler that has like very ultimate based, right? You have you're a Nocturne or something, and you could go mid and kill them. But at the same time, if you go mid, you're going to miss an opportunity bot. You could also go bot and kill bot. But this LeBlanc, you're versing a comp that's quite tanky. Maybe there's like an Ornn top or a Mundo top, and then there's just like a lot of tanky shit. And you know that, and it's very AP heavy. And you've got a singular AD champion bot. And it's like let's say it's like I don't know, you got like a Draven bot or some
Okay,
shit.
it depends what jungle champ I'm playing. If I'm playing a champion that is more like Java or Nocturne, like you're saying, of course, yes, I need to prioritize heavily what's good into their team comp. But a lot of junglers, and especially ones I coach in solo queue, they're like Viegos, they're like, you know, Ambessas, like they just need gold to like carry the game.
Isn't there a lot of scenarios there where like if you were to go someplace, you wouldn't be able to go somewhere else because you've already used your resources?
trade-off, right?
It's a trade-off. You can't just go everywhere.
There is, but getting gold on yourself to carry games, especially below Emerald, is just the most consistent way to climb.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much on that. I just think it's a factor.
It is a factor. And it's an extremely important factor if you're playing the more so team-oriented junglers like Jarvan, Nocturne, Volibear, that sort of stuff.
Let's do we'll do a full WinCon video at one point in the future.
How
That's a
to
good idea.
identify and play around win
Put it on the
conditions.
list.
Okay, back to the episode.
I mean, do you have a WinCon assessment stuff on Jungle Academy? You talk about WinCon assessment.
Of course,
all the
yes.
time.
I'm obsessed with win con assessment. Contrary to what
that's
Curtis
Nathan's
thinks.
thing.
But that's how I
Yeah,
win games.
that's how
I
Nathan
do
wins.
it, but you know, I still think about opportunities and goals.
Sometimes, it's not just to throw my hat in the ring here, I think sometimes you overcook as well.
With
Nathan's
what
an
win
overcooker with
conditions?
WinCon assessment. Sometimes you'll think you're a fucking genius. You're like, this is the obvious thing. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do like the anti-WinCon.
That's right. I
Nathan
do
does the
do that.
anti-WinCon.
I do that.
It's like, what do you
yeah.
think? It's like, I have Renekton and Elise. I'm going to play bot side. It's like, he does whack shit a lot of the time.
I'm experimenting.
Yeah,
dude.
he's a
sometimes-
mad scientist.
Yeah, I'm a
He's
mad
scientist.
scientist,
It's really
yeah.
fun to play with, but it's also really frustrating. And I always feel
No,
like
because
I'm
I'm-
on the fucking brunt of it. I'm always
Yeah,
getting
probably.
excited.
Because I'm trying to mind game the mind game. They know they're
Yeah,
on the play
that's
for
what he's
this.
trying to say.
It's because I'm just in challenger junglers, right? So like, they know I'm going to do this, but I'm doing the complete opposite.
that
Throws
makes
off,
sense.
you know?
I see what
It's
you're
cool.
trying
I mean,
to
he gets a lot of success doing it.
Yeah, I
It
know what
does
you
work.
mean.
He does weird shit, like ganking for tanks a lot.
Yes, I'd love
like
doing that.
avoiding heavy trading. Yeah, just weird stuff.
Yeah.
As long as it's intentional. I'm intentional about everything I do. All right, next up we have Akshan, another stealth champion. What's
Yeah.
with these
A
stealth
lot of
champions?
people hate Akshan. I know that for a fact. In Midlane Academy, people hate Akshan.
These were just mid laners that voted for
Yeah.
Akshan, pretty much.
Okay.
No one else really voted for him.
Yeah, Akshan's one of those champions that mid lane is a mental boom with.
Wow.
Because I think they have this thing where it's like, okay, he's just going to stealth and run around the map and kill everyone. I just think that there's a lot of it's a lot here that like once you understand how to deal with Akshan, he becomes incredibly easy to beat. So
What
first
does he do? I don't even know what he does. Like, what is a stealth a button? Is it his W?
Yeah, so stealth's a button. You press
Is it
it,
a button? Okay.
yeah, and you go invisible, but like you stay invisible when you're next to like walls.
What?
So you can stay permanently in stealth, basically, right? And at the moment you walk away from the wall,
didn't
like
know
you
that.
will like for too long, you will go back.
That's
out,
mental.
You know?
I can't believe I didn't know that.
So that's that. So
Okay.
the swing is, I think, what really bothers people. So there's one really important mechanic you need to understand about Akshan is that the E, right, the swing, right, and you know how it shoots bullets off the E,
The grappling hook.
the grappling hook. That thing only targets you if he's already procced the passive, if he's already hit you.
Ooh.
So if he's Q'd you or he's autoed you, the E will lock onto you and all of the bullets will shoot you down, right? But if he hasn't,
Yeah.
let's say he hasn't hit you with a Q, he hasn't threw the boomerang at you, he hasn't autoed you, and he swings, it's going to hit all the minions, it's going to hit everything else, and you're not really going to take a lot of damage. So a lot of people don't understand that. So what happens, they're super scared in the lane thinking, oh, I gotta stand back because if Akshan swings on me, he's going to fuck me up. But you're not. You could literally win that. You will stand your ground and you will win because he hasn't clipped you with the Q. So that's like a huge thing. Also, Akshan, if you die once and you get behind, you're completely useless. And then the other thing as well is that every Akshan just overcooks. They over roam, they ditch
No
wave,
farm.
they have no farm. And that's
It's another one
opposite.
where, as a side laner, he needs to fill up a disproportionate amount of your mental stack because they will roam to your side.
Yes,
lane.
that's what they will do. And so if you're a side laner, and if you're below, if we're talking below master tier, okay, below diamond even, and you're versing an Akshan and you're a side laner, be prepared that Akshan is going to ditch waves, they're going to roam, and they're going to go nuts. And if you don't die to just like one or two of those roams, Nexus explodes. That Akshan will get so far behind, you'll get obliterated, it'll be useless moving into
That's the
mid-game.
mindset you need to have.
That's the mindset. That's the counterplay for side laners. If you're the mid laner, then you need to not get hit by the Q, stand away from the minions, you don't get away by the Q, stand your ground and don't be afraid to actually trade onto this guy and keep him in the lane. And if you do that, literally post first base, Akshan will lose to basically everything for the most part. And then that's really it. He just can't roam because he'll just lose trades. You'll just get screwed. You'll lose farm, and then that's that.
Am I right in saying that he's like, is he a good 5v5 champ? But when I think of Akshan, he's good in chaos. He's good in like 3v3s. But when you put him in a structured 5v5, he's not as good, right?
No, Akshan wants man advantages.
He wants man advantages.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you want to you want to use your W. You want to use your strong like side laning, I guess, to shove and move and create man advantages.
Yep. If you fight even numbers,
If you
he
fight
seems
even
worse
numbers,
than a mage.
yeah, because your R will just don't do much. You need to have some sort of advantage. That's the principle with Akshan. When we teach Akshan, it's like you need to be fighting with an advantage.
Yeah.
Whether it's a man advantage, a positional advantage, a gold advantage, whatever. There needs to be an advantage there. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the fight for the most part.
Makes sense.
Next up, we have Talon. Now, Talon jungle. I assume the junglers, or is it laners
It's
again?
jungle, I think, for the
Jungle
most part.
Talon, and this is in my S tier, I think. Talon jungle is
Interesting.
one of the best jungles in the game. Almost equal to Naafiri from my perspective.
Yeah.
Wow. Nuts.
Killing 80 carries. One of the best champs in the game at killing 80 carries.
Nuts.
So yeah, he's obviously really annoying. When I think about the stealth thing for R, it's more about just the damage from R is just mental. There's so much damage. The hopping over.
So the strength of Talon, why I'm going to take over this champion. The reason he's fucking annoying is the speed at which he gets around the map and the fact that he's an in and out assassin because he can like use his ulti to get in and then he can on jump over a wall to get out. And his damage spells are not attached to his mobility. It's like what you were saying with LeBlanc.
No, that's not true.
This is how it feels. Like
That's how it feels, but that's not true. Talon's damage is you can't just use R to get in and deal all your damage because your damage on Talon comes from proccing the passive, right? And if you use your R in, then your R's you're not going to be able to use the R won't damage the enemy, right? Because the way it works, right, is the way the combo is on Talon is you basically want to go in. You want to the ideal fight for Talon is that you jump over a wall or something. You'd get in range to land your W1, W2. You would then you'd go for some sort of QR auto, and then your R would like pop on them, right? Sure. But if you use R to then use the movement speed and the stealth to get in, then your R's it's not going to go on the enemy. It's going to just disappear.
No, sorry. I mean, when I was speaking, I don't mean he's like literally stealthing in range to you. They don't do that. They I don't know which combo of the other buttons they press, but the idea that they can kill you without using the jump over the wall and then jump over a wall. That's
yeah, he can do that. He definitely can do that. I don't think Talon. I think Talon jungle is good. Don't get me wrong. I do think it is a good champ. I do think it can be very annoying. He's very creative ganks.
Yeah.
He's one of the few junglers that can like. He can always find a way to get on top of you because of his terrain scaling and get behind you. Like that is what makes him fundamentally a great jungler. And he also has a lot of ways to play fights. He play fights a lot of different ways. He can create a lot of space in fights. I just don't think his damage is nearly as reliable as people think it is. And I think it's just because people don't know where his damage comes from. Again, I think a big part of like why Talon is a hard champion in mid game. Like I've reviewed a lot of Talon mid games. Talon's damage is some of the least reliable of every assassin in the game. And because it's very difficult, it's not easy to learn. It's not easy to proc the passive on a moving target. Because
why does it feel easy to get hit by his W? Because I feel like I know that
it's because
is annoying.
It's because he's getting on top of you. If he's on top of you, obviously he's going to land all of his damage. But it's one of those champs like LeBlanc. I would actually liken it very similar to LeBlanc. If LeBlanc is coming from fog and getting on top of you, you're fucked. She's going to one-shot. Talon's going to one-shot you.
Right.
But if Talon doesn't get that flank off and doesn't come in from the side and you've got good vision set up,
he was not going to run it, you'd hit a W.
Talon's never going to get on top of you and he's never going to land a W. It's so low range.
Yeah, in the mid game, I think Talon's fine. It's the early game. It's like the late lane.
So it's like Rek'Sai then.
Yeah, it's exactly similar to Rek'Sai, but just he always has 10 CS per minute as well. It's like a 10 CS per minute Rek'Sai.
He's faster.
He can get from top to bot in like 4 seconds flat, 0 to 60. And yeah.
No, I do think Talon's good.
It's an early game problem. That's why I'm doing it. I don't care about mid game's fine. Just assassin fundamentals, that's easy. But early game, he just has this bullshit factor. And he could also level 3 gank as well, which is really annoying.
Talon is one of those champions. There's definitely a skill cap to Talon as well.
Incredibly high skill cap champion.
Like sort of like Rengar. Like Talon, I think he's broken.
They're
like,
good players
like
that win on Talon. They're not bad. Bad players will not win on Talon.
Yeah, you could sprint around with like a 70-80% win rate. But like if you're like lower elo, like you won't be able to close out a game.
You won't be able to close out a game because your mid game will be really, really difficult.
Or bad ults or low percentage kills.
So I think Talon it's actually like so perfectly designed for jungle. It's perfectly designed for jungle because you can, again, the terrain scaling, the mobility, like the farm well, like it's literally like the perfect jungle champion for the most part, carry jungle champion.
Yeah, you don't have to lane, so you're not going to get bullied by range champions on anything.
You should learn Talon jungle. That'd be fun.
It would be really fun. I've actually always wanted to go through a Talon stint, but yeah, I think Talon mid is really niche. It's actually played nowadays. It's actually come back in recently.
Really?
But over time, it's out of the meta for a long time. Anyway, back to Talon jungle. Like, I think Talon mid game, a good Talon is what makes him annoying.
Yes.
Not because it's because of the pressure he exerts in the side lane. It's like Rengar. Like a good Talon can
gets there so fast. I play side lane. That's how I win games as well with Rek'Sai. And Talon just does my job better than me as Rek'Sai.
Yeah, he's a better
Rek'Sai more damage and
better
faster.
Scaling.
Yeah.
Really good scaling.
Yeah.
A lot of threat.
Because he can also do that and get out. Sometimes I play the side lane, I go for the play and I can't get out.
But I think Rek'Sai has way better ganks early game.
So I think
for sure.
I'm fighting an inner battle here because psychologically, like I know how to play against Talon, right? It's similar to playing against a Shaco or a Rek'Sai. You need to just basically...
That's nuts though. I can't believe... I don't view Talon like that whatsoever.
As a bot laner, that's how you have to view it.
Is it just 3-camp gank?
He will 3-camp gank you.
Yeah.
He will jump over walls and do bullshit ganks if you try and pressure too much. He's a really good cleanup champion, which you would know. He's very good cleanup champion. He's built to kill bot laners. I think that is his strength. He full clears to bot and he kills you, then he full clears to bot and he kills you.
Interesting.
But if I don't pressure and I let him scale, he'll also 10 CS per minute. And do
that's what I'm scared
That's
of.
why I don't know how to beat him. I actually don't know the answer.
No, Talon, because
I
I guess I'm biased because I think Talon's really struggled to gank mid comparatively to sides. I think that's first
They
thing.
can't gank top because top laners are too tanky.
Yeah, the top laner
kill ADs.
Yeah, I understand your frustration.
I don't want the answer.
If you're a jungler, if you're a mid laner or you're a top laner, you have no problems with Talon in the early game. And then it's just up to the skill of the Talon.
It's more mid game. I'm more scared of a farm Talon in mid game. They're not compensating. They're just farming, and they become a massive nuisance in mid game.
I don't need to go sides.
Because you don't go sides. So we have different problems.
We hate him in different parts of the game.
Different parts of the game. So I think I definitely, now that you're explaining it like that though, it does make sense because Talon is going to gravitate towards bot.
Yeah,
he's very difficult to spot with wards because of how creative he can be.
You jump over the back of Dragon Pit and come behind.
Exactly right. Yeah. So he's always seen ways he can do it, and he's obviously it's not exactly easy to peel once he's on top of you. So jungle in a way solves his biggest problem, Talon's biggest problem, which is getting on top of people.
Makes sense, yeah.
So very solid solo queue champ, like a Rengar.
We don't have a Talon guard at the moment in the Jungle Academy, but it's one of our next ones. Yeah, he's definitely picked up. I thought he would slowly disappear last year or whatever from the jungle, but no, he's like ramping up. I think he's even just fundamentally just so good in the jungle.
The kit is perfectly designed for jungle.
Makes sense.
All right, our last one in B tier is Varus. All our top laners hate playing against Varus.
Get Coach Chippy's on the blower. What does he say?
I want to say as well, before we even get Chippy's take here, I hate Varus top. I think Varus top
playing with it or playing against it?
Just playing against it. I think it's good. I think it's very annoying.
Yeah.
It's an annoying champion to deal with.
He's very hard to kill.
All the weird builds and shit. It's like tanky sometimes.
It's so much dueling capacity. His dueling capacity is like insane. And the thing with Varus, what's always surprised me is that even if he gets behind, he will still always deal a lot of... The amount of 0-3 Varuses that will still one-shot you is nuts.
Well, it's... Okay, two things with Varus. Like, number one is he is one of the best champions at abusing items in the game. Like, the reason top Varus is good is because of certain items in the game. There's, like, Ginzu's, Riftmaker, tanky damage-dealing items, like Dusk and Dawn. Like, all the new items, Varus top usually just abuses the new items. And it's very frustrating. And also, like, Varus top... if you play him with confidence and you click forwards and you stat check, he's a stat stick, right?
He's a stat
He
stick.
just stat sticks
Yep.
you, which is very even from behind, you will just lose the matchup.
So why is Varus top lane so much better than AD carry?
I don't think that's necessarily
We've
true.
got strong dueling capacity.
I think he beats a lot of champions in top lane, wins every matchup basically. And when Varus is strong, he could like.
But I
he's
feel like
just a lane
Varus
boy.
top laners win games. Varus AD carries can't win games.
Agreed.
Well, it's because of the way that AD carry works in solo queue, in a solo queue environment. Like Varus bot lane isn't guaranteed to win lane when picked because you have to factor in all 4 champions and the jungler. Varus top lane will win most matchups and also can like kill the jungler as well. You also have access to solo XP. Varus likes having points in his spells.
I think
which
because
means
you're
levels are
getting.
important.
I think because also top, you just get more levels.
And
Yeah,
more
exactly right.
solo
So
kill
points
potential.
in your abilities.
Yeah, points
very
in your
important.
abilities.
Yeah,
And probably can solo kill way
and you just
easier.
get more time to 1v1 the Renekton
Yeah.
top.
Because you
That's
have a lot of good lanes.
Yeah, and it's also a different Varus, by the way. You don't play tank Varus AD carry. You play like poke Varus or on hit, and those builds are just substantially worse. And you can't play tank Varus bot lane because it just doesn't.
Okay,
suit
so
the lane.
there's one. I've got one theory. One of my, you have your little bit chance to
theories.
run into. If you run into them, that's
Yeah.
your whole thing. My thing is champions that generate pressure.
yeah,
Varuses
so good.
generate pressure, and the thing is that even if Varus dies 2 or 3 times, a lot of the time they will still or can still win the 1v1. And they can still get pressure in the side lane. They're like a sponge in a way, like where it's like they're like a little, again, a mosquito in the side lane where they will, and you got to be careful about collapsing onto them because they will turn on one of you and try to one-shot one of you. So like I've always felt like Varus is annoying because of it's like a pressure valve. It's like this very annoying thing that like I can't turn it off. It's like a tap that's leaking 24/7. That's what I don't like about Varus. That's why I find it annoying. All right, so what did Chippy say?
So Coach Shippy's advice for playing against Varus top lane is make it volatile level 1. This champ has a great level 2 and a trash level 1. Make both of you low HP. And then play for a level 3 kill after making it volatile, after trading a bit. Level 6.
The reason he's weak level 1 is because his damage is contingent on
proccing the passive.
proccing the blight on the W, and level 1 he can't proc the blight because you need 2 spells.
Yep.
Level 6, you have to flash his ulti or you'll instantly die.
Good advice.
But that's where that's so unintuitive because people think of flash as an oh shit button when you're low HP, but you need to insta flash. You need to be insta flashing at full HP and you could probably kill him pretty
Flash
easily.
over it. or
Flash
something, yeah.
over it
Interesting.
whilst you're full HP.
Obviously, there's specifics that matter there, but generally speaking, yeah.
And post 6, stay healthy and communicate clear timers to your jungler.
Yeah, it's just you need to get ganks.
Gank the Varus top. Do you gank Varus tops or do you overthink it and gank bot or something? When there's a
Yeah,
Varus
I
top?
do the whole thing. It's like it's going to have a lot of priority, a lot of pressure. When I get my first item, I think it's definitely free killable. Depends what champion you're playing. But yeah, I gank a Varus top for sure. Very easy to kill.
I think that is your obligation as a jungler.
Yeah.
I think you have to. Like, I think that's the thing.
You might not have that gank if you in the early game because he just builds up waves
Yeah.
and just healthy
Yeah.
in wards. But after
Later.
that, like level 5 onwards,
If you're not ganking as Varus, like post level 6,
especially level alts, yeah, just beat him up.
it's just end of
Because if
review.
I'm the Varus,
yeah.
but you have to be very specific on the timers. Like we can't be ganking him when he's shoved up or fully pushing a wave or whatever. Because junglers just in general bad at ganking Varus tops because they have a really
Have so much control.
I want
distorted
my
way.
jungler to level 2 gank top when I'm versing Varus.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Well, based on what Jippy said, I think it'll be fantastic. It really stuffs him up. But
Make it really
I
volatile.
I tell people to get level 4 and full clear. We're not level 2
Level,
ganking top,
level 2
please.
gank the Varus, please.
Help you. This is the same thing with the whole Winkin thing. Help
Yeah.
yourself before you can help
Yeah,
others.
I know. I respect that.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Get your game experience. So that's our Varus section.
So now we're going to be announcing the winners of the Battle Pass giveaway from the previous episode. Nathan, enlighten us. Who won these? Who are these lucky winners?
So our lucky winners here are Mr. Pokemon 234 said flat out, it's Naafiri. I play control mages mainly, so I usually insta-ban her. Don't even want to learn that matchup. Your section on the mid lane episode says, didn't even convince me to change that. LeMayo.
Well, it's very fitting we're doing this episode today, then, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't blame, I guess.
Yep.
You know,
very
for him as
makes
well.
sense.
Agree.
Next one comes from Eli Trell Zero. As an Anivia main, I hate playing against Naafiri because she seems to be the only assassin that straight up stat checks Anivia without counterplay, ignoring Cassidy who doesn't quite one-shot and can actually be stunned, unless you react precisely within 0.2 seconds to cancel her Naafiri's ult, which is unrealistic.
I would have thought if Anivia does really well into Naafiri. Am I wrong? One of the better champs into...
Not really.
No, really.
I think Naafiri is fine into Anivia because you have mobility. Anivia typically is good into champions with low mobility because you can trap them into your R and your wall.
I'm imagining a situation where a good Anivia player can just like hold their Q, Naafiri ults in, presses W, Naafiri stuns immediately after the Naafiri W. Is that simplistic?
I mean, in mid-game, Anivia is not really a problem for Naafiri because by that point, you're diving in. You have so many ways to deal with Anivia's Q. You have the W, you have your E. There's a lot of ways. And on top of that, in general, like if Anivia is playing super conservatively, then kill someone else. So yeah,
all right,
it's reasonable.
Our next winner is Eccentric Lee 9515. Said personally hate Akali right now because she now feels like Riven, where one wrong misstep will let her instantly cook you with ults if they have summoner spells. And if you respect her too much and give her priority in lane, she'll just go and kill your teammates.
Makes sense. I think that's a reasonable take as well.
Next one here comes from Fulcrum05. His champ pool is... So there's three mid laners absolute despise. Zed, Yasuo, and Katarina. The reason is that when you're versing them, I feel like I always have to play their game. I feel like I'm always on the back foot and I can never be proactive and have to wait for them to make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean,
that's been the theme, right, of today's episode. You know, these are the champions that do force you to kind of play their game to a certain degree. And that is a very frustrating experience. So, like, again, like through via that, that answer, it does make a lot of sense why it would be frustrating to deal with those champions.
And the last one here comes from Articulatimus. When I queue mid lane, my champ pool typically comprises of Swain, Victor, and Lysandra. For that reason, the champion I look forward to facing the least would have to be Silas.
No.
Laning is fine, but going into mid-game and beyond, not only can Silas use my ults better than I can, but the amount of chaos he brings to games often means that his team can find a way to come back no matter how far ahead I may be.
Silas into Swain is a fake counter in my games. Never seen it work.
No. You're a Swain.
Yeah, I like that matchup with Swain. I do think, though, if you do get behind, Silas can run you over. But, you know, a lot of competent Swains will try to bully the Silas before he becomes relevant.
Advantage, yeah.
But, yeah, look, I think Silas is not a champion we spoke about today. It hasn't really come up in the conversation.
I can see why it would be annoying. A Silas from ahead is very frustrating.
Yes.
It's just so rare
Snowball's
that he
like
gets
crazy.
ahead like that, from my experience.
Yeah, nowadays people are quite good at not dying to Silas early.
Yeah.
I think people have cottoned on that you got to avoid the E2 and yada, yada, yada. So I think
don't fight extended fights. Don't give him that second W.
Yeah, don't give him that second W. If he does take your ultimate, just be a little bit respectful. So, like, I do think that he can be very frustrating at times. But yeah, by the lack of votes from the community, just hasn't really popped up in the conversation today.
Yeah, not a single vote for Silas from out of the
Surprising.
250 odds.
Of the 90 champs that were unique.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, guys. We'll send you a DM, or Curtis will send you a DM on Discord. You guys sent your Discord and, enjoy the goods. C tier. Kayn, Nocturne, Mordekaiser, Xerath, Anivia, Ambessa, and Yorick. First one is Kayn. I'm assuming this was blue Kayn, Charles. I have a mental block against red Kayn specifically. Blue Kayn's fine. Red Kayn is not fun to play against. The really important dodge the W.
It's blue Kayn. No one cares about red Kayn. You're the only one in the whole world that cares about red Kayn.
Stop talking.
Because you play Volibear and Skarner and Rek'Sai.
That's right.
Boomer champs.
Red Kayn destroyed.
So this is 80 carries.
It's 80 carries and junglers voting for Kayn. Junglers because of the Kayn bullshit invades.
Of the early game, yeah.
And 80 carries because of the blue Kayn one-shot, go through walls, invulnerability.
So do you think that is a reasonable take, Charles?
To be honest, when I see a Kayn, I don't really view it as my job to play around the Kayn. Kayn, correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but I view Kayn as Kayn's just not a very strong jungler. Like, he just doesn't really gank lanes very well. He doesn't win duels versus the enemy jungler. He can only really take cheesy little cleanup kills and then scale, is my mindset with Kayn.
Yeah, so the way his power curve works and the way we teach him is at levels 1 to 4, he's actually super strong, especially we teach people to take Hella Blades, and you can really abuse this level 1 strategy. It's from a famous Chinese 2K LP Kayn player. But levels 4 to 7, you're like the shittest champion in the game or pre-form.
You're a minion, yes.
Yeah, so you go from strong to worst champion in the game to get form again, then you're back online. So you're probably thinking more about that period of the game.
Yeah, but like...
When you say that he's useless.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just
or even with form.
Even with form, he's very telegraphed. Again, you can just do a lot of as good assassin fundamentals, just like group up with your team, stay away from walls, try avoid getting flanked, make sure that if he kills you, it's a 1-for-1. Yeah.
But I guess he's sort of annoying. What's the difference between him and Talon then, Charles? Because
Great
Talon
question.
jumps over walls and in and out. Even if anything, he's more effective in and out.
Kayn only has one E, Talon has multiple E's because you can E every wall. Kayn can only E once.
So what are you doing? You're chasing Talons and shit, dude. What are you talking about?
What's wrong with me? I don't know.
But Talon also can't E over the same wall. Once you've E'd over the wall.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's like Charles is saying there's like a wall and then a wall, another
There
instantly
are lots
appears.
of walls in bot lane. There are lots of walls.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you there. It's again, I think my problems with Talon are psychological more than practical. I think I'm allowed one psychological counter.
I think that
Kayn's a shit at the game. Okay, my true answer is Talon players are trying to win, and they're 10 CS a minute, and they're ganking properly, and they're playing well. And Kayn players, the psychology of the average Kayn player is that they are playing Call of Duty. They're the Bradleys finishing their work, and they're coming home, and they just want to kill people, and they skip camps, they do weird shit, they fall behind. Kayn players are notoriously dog shit in the mid game specifically, constantly going for invades. Talons don't really invade and ruin the game. Kayn's invade and ruin the game.
Because everyone thinks that's what you're. They ruin the early games.
Yes.
And stuff,
Okay. So Kayn is just played by a lot of bad players. Is why I don't think Kayn is as annoying.
It's an honest take. It makes sense.
That's my take.
I actually kind of
I agree.
Maybe not with the terminology and the lingo there with bad players, but I do think Talon players are notoriously more disciplined.
Yeah.
Because they have to be. Right? I think a lot of Kayn players can be sloppy and rough around the edges because you can be, right? You can go in, you can be a little bit messy. You're going to, especially Kayn, right? You're going in, then vulnerable, you're going to dash over walls. Like you can be rough around the edges and still do a lot.
Right.
You know, and obviously you got the scaling in your back pocket as well. So I kind of feel like there's a lot of Kayns that win games going with score lines like 4, 5, 9 assists or something, you know, just a lot of deaths.
Like 11, 9, 10.
Yeah, know, something like that. Whereas a Talon player is either going to be completely piss useless or they're going to be like a demon lord.
Like 11-2.
11-2, yeah, exactly right.
I definitely agree with this from the general player base, but I will defend my junglers in the Jungle Academy. We teach Kayn invades properly, consistently. We have a guide that Pavi made, which was really good. Again, following that 2000 LP Chinese guy. And our Kayn players are goated in the Jungle Academy. Okay. You would actually prefer to play with a Kayn than a Talon. And shout out to Tui, who got from Emerald 4 to Diamond 2 in 5 weeks with our Kayn guide.
Look, I think Kayn is a good champion. I honestly I enjoy seeing Kayn on my team.
That's a big statement. I thought you want things to happen in the early to mid game.
I don't. I love knowing that I've got this champion that is going to be a nuisance in the mid game. And why I like Kayn on my team is that it can create a lot of space, and I can leverage whatever that Kayn is doing to like do more things for myself. Right? If it's Kayn going into a fight and doing some random shit and creating space, well then usually that Kayn has bought a lot of space, like burnt a lot of cooldowns and like. You know, they started the fight. A lot of Kayns love starting fights. So I like that. I want someone to get thrown in the mix.
Yeah.
And I can leverage that. And also like Kayn because I know that if I can stall out the game and get the Kayn to 3 items, I've also got an additional win condition there. So I personally just anecdotally have a lot of success with Kayn. But I do agree that the same principles apply when you're versing Kayn, comparatively to versing assassins, right? Yeah. You want to group up a little bit more often. You want to hold your CC. You want to make sure you'll be wearing a fog. You know, be mindful of flanks and coming from the side.
Or something
Don't
we
be
haven't
too easy
spoken
to
about
kill.
with assassins is I love just holding blue trinket and using blue trinket very intentionally so they can't flank you. Like if you have blue trinket for our neutrals or pushing out a side, it helps a lot.
And there is just a very big difference between versing red Kayn and blue Kayn. Blue Kayn, obviously, like the one-shot assassin, and then red Kayn, a little bit more team fight, creating space, like a fighter, right? Like a kind of like a space creator, if you will. I kind of view
Red Kayn just wastes time.
Wastes
Just
time.
survives forever.
exactly right. That's what I like. I love
red Kayn.
Yeah, I think
I
red
think
Kayn.
Red Kayn
Red Kayn is better than
insane.
blue Kayn for
Agreed.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. No,
In
red
the
Kayn
right
in the right
comps.
comp is, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah,
so
but
It's good into
useless-
melees,
it's
right?
useless
A lot of
in some-
melees
Yeah, a lot of
comps.
melees.
Yeah.
That's right.
It gives me flashback to my Sejuani days versing red Kayn.
Oh, I have so much trauma.
But I
from
do
Red Kayn.
think, okay, so now if I'm now speaking aloud, this is my weird narrative versus Kayn, is I think Kayn is like just like a noob stomper. Whereas Kayn, if a Kayn player versus a competent jungler, they will just get out pressure, like just out.
That's what I'm trying to say.
impacted.
When I verse Kayn, it's not on me. It's on my jungler to win me that game because they should beat the Kayn.
Yeah. Yes. That's kind of what you're into. I agree. Like intuitively, that's how I feel as well.
Yes.
But if the jungler doesn't, it becomes my problem.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It becomes my problem very quickly. So I can understand why it's on the list. I'm glad to see
makes
it's not as high up. It is just like a nuisance. It can be a nuisance.
Looking at the kit, goes through walls, goes invulnerable with its ult, does a lot of
Creates
damage,
space.
builds lethality, is an assassin. It fits the same niche.
Yep.
All right, next up we have Nocturne. We're just in assassin land here.
Makes sense.
So Nocturne is a bruiser as a slash assassin.
He's
but
just Rengar light. He's Rengar light.
Yep.
Is how
But
I do it.
I'm really surprised that, I guess, is this 80 carries or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But-
all
but
80, all 80 carries. And some mid
it wouldn't be
Some
junglers.
mid laners probably.
It wouldn't be junglers at
No,
all.
junglers did not vote
Like
Nocturne a
Nocturne's
single
a really, if I'm playing against a Nocturne, it's a very honest game of League of Legends. Like very clear, what are you going to do? Very clear weaknesses, Nocturne.
It's just the ult. It's like when you have to push out waves.
It's one of the best ults in the game.
Wait, you played Nocturne in the Clash game that we played, and that was insane, man.
It's one of the best R's in the game, surely, right? Nocturne's R. It's a really,
It's
really good
mental.
R.
It warps the game. Yeah.
Warps the
yeah.
game.
Any ulti like that changes your behavior to that extent is going to be really broken.
Yep.
But it's not broken in the way people think it is.
No.
It's broken in a subtle way. It's broken in the fact that it constricts you and removes options, not in the fact that it
You're gonna
does a lot of
one-shot
damage
someone.
and one-shots you. No, that's
You're
not
not
why.
scared of a Nocturne because they're randomly going to one-shot you. It's more that, you have to now alter what waves you can and can't
Correct.
touch. You have to be a little bit you have to be a little bit mindful if you're splitting too far from the team.
Yep.
You can't 1-3-1 as a mid-game comp because someone's going to get engaged
It's another one where
upon.
I think people fucking, if they truly ask themselves how do I play against Nocturne, they know.
They know.
They know they shouldn't be on that wave. They know that on that wave, you probably shouldn't fight to the death because you don't know where the Nocturne is and your jungler's top side. They know this stuff, but they can't help it. They fight anyway.
I think it's one of those champs, by the way, where it's like you can be doing really well for an extended period of time, right? Where you're hyper aware of Nocturne, you know where he is, you're being conservative when he has R, and then all it takes is like one slip up, and then someone gets punished, someone gets sloppy, and then gets caught, and then you're like, oh fucking Nocturne, I think it's that. It's the fact that it's like all it takes is just one lapse in focus, and then boom, he's engaged.
Common thing I hear about Nocturnes is I didn't think his ult would be back up yet.
Yeah.
This is a common one as well. I remember thinking about that Clash game as well. I kept doing that against Syndra ulti as well. There's some ults in the game which are unintuitively
Well,
fast.
Nocturne is because you build a lot of ulti, don't you? You
build
build that
hex-
item.
hex
Hextech
play.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
Syndra's is just low in general.
It's more the
Yeah.
fact that in the early stages of the game, it's a very long ult, and then it shortens a lot with the items.
Yeah.
Especially if some Nocturnes go full assassin like Axiom Arc, and it's like mental. It's like
Yeah.
fucking
And they are on
20,
ulti hunter,
30
right?
seconds.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Ulti
crazy.
Hunter, Axiom Arc, yeah.
Did I say 20 seconds? It's like more like, that's like, it feels
No,
like,
in
it
the
is
game,
about
the time is
30
warped, yeah.
It is about, I think it's actually like 40 seconds with Axiom Arc.
20 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. Imagine that. That'd be crazy.
It's like a 50 seconds or something like that.
Shotgun.
It can be
people.
really cool.
You can just use it out of base every
It
time.
feels like 20 seconds. I remember distinctly a game that I played against a Nocturne who had Axiom Arc, and I generally thought it was up every 20 seconds.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, tips to play against it. It sounds like a big one is just intent. It has to be in your mental stack, front and center, right? Your mental stack.
Mini game champ. If you don't give Nocturne those clear pick angles and you just group on team fights,
He'll do shitty ults.
He'll do some shit R's. He'll just overextend. He just won't be as impactful in other fights comparatively to your jungler, right?
What's important with these ones, which I think we all do intuitively, is loading screen intensity.
Yes.
Using the loading screen to prime yourself for how you're winning this particular game is just more important when these minigame champs are in there. So you need to alter your entire lane strategy based on that champ being in the game. It's like Nunu's the same.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
That is shit. I agree. I think that's why it's an annoying champion. It sucks. It's annoying.
You didn't queue up to do that.
No.
But you have to.
You have to.
Cop it.
Part of the agreement loading into the game.
It should be. It's in the contract. It's in the
The
contract.
Nocturne solo queue contract.
All right, next up we have Mordekaiser. I'm assuming top laners, this one here. Junglers should be as well, Mordekaiser.
Nope. No one voted Mordekaiser except for top laners.
Wow.
Only top laners.
Interesting. So what?
No, sorry. I think 180 carry. Who says something like they can't go. You can't hit it.
It does make sense for top laners since there's a lot of low range champions. Mordekaiser is very good into a lot of other low range champions. So what is Chippy's?
Well, just speaking from playing against Mord, like I'm thinking my learning journey, learning like Gwen into Mord or playing a scaling top into Mord. It is frustrating because his Q is on a very low cooldown and it is very annoying. He has no mana, so he can spam it. He W makes it so he can't really all in him. He's a pretty good champ. Like, I love
Good
Mord.
laner.
We all pro Mordekaiser
Yeah,
on this podcast.
yeah, we are.
I love
Mord,
Mordekaiser.
yeah.
We all love
It's also another run into them champion. If you run into the Mord, you're going to die.
There's a lot you can do with the R. There's a lot you can do with it.
Yep, you can ult the jungler at Nash. You can absorb gank pressure and
You
like
can basically eliminate their strongest member from the game.
Yep.
It is just difficult it is not exactly easy to shut down in the lane, right? In a 1v1 anyway, right? A good Mordekaiser, because they also have great wave clear. So Mordekaiser can manipulate waves very, very easily, which is not what a lot of top laners have.
Yeah.
A lot of top laners have shit wave clear, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them do.
Yep.
Whereas Mordekaiser has amazing wave clear.
Yep. You can basically EQ and blow up a wave.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. Of all the champions that we talk about for top lane, Chip is the least like how to play against Mordekaiser. He says bait and dodge his skill shots, which is like, obvious, but people probably just don't do.
Well, he has high cooldowns, right? His E and his W.
Yeah, you play around his cooldowns.
If you
right?
can bait out his W and then re-engage, he is not a champion. His trades are entirely tied to his W.
Yeah,
cooldown.
so that's what next thing that Chippy said. He says
a genius. Look
his
at that.
W is actually his most important
we
spell.
go.
Punish when it's on cooldown.
Here we go.
Charles, the top
They
laner.
don't call me jack of all trades for nothing. I do have a lot of trades.
And then never fight him in R, just run around and kite
That's
him out.
another thing. Don't try and hit him when he ults you. Unless
Run
you're like,
around.
if you're fed, then obviously fight him or whatever. But most of the time, people die because they're trying to fight back.
Yeah.
Just put all of your mental stack on dodging his spells in the realm. Because that's what the Nathan Mordekaiser will ult you and then miss every skill shot.
Yeah.
No, I went to the extreme when I was learning Mordekaiser. I would just hold all my abilities and auto attack
Auto
someone,
attack.
and
Never
then they
use
wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It's a good learning experiment.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It's funny.
All right, Xerath is next up on our list.
Who voted for Xerath?
Don't recall. Probably mids.
It would have to be mids.
Mids and
100%.
ADs voted for a lot of
Maybe
stuff.
ADs, I'm thinking.
Xerath is a really interesting. Xerath, you were a big Xerath salesman in the mid lane episode. And
Xerath is annoying for a lot of people for a few reasons. I think, like, number one, he's just scales like crazy. A lot of people struggle, I would just say, just from a raw skill set perspective of dealing with high range mages. There is kind of like a thing in the league community where versing artillery mages and high range mages is just not, it's a skill that takes time to develop, right? And if you don't know the weaknesses of these champions, you will just get obliterated. So like champions that have like any artillery mage, they have terrible side laning. So you need to get comfortable.
Nathan said Xerath was the best side laner in the game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was nuts.
One of the most mental.
He's one of the
things
worst
ever.
side laners in the entire game, right?
Nathan's worst take on this podcast.
Yeah.
That goes to the worst take.
And so if you don't have confidence in your ability to get into the side lane and pilot the side lane, even to like a minor degree, you're always going to feel pressured to try and shut down the Xerath. But shutting down a Xerath in lane is not easy. Again, they can reset very easily, high wave clear. Once they get to Lost Chapter, they can just start blasting waves, and there's not really much you can do. You can't really shut down a late lane Xerath. Like once the Xerath gets to level 7, level 8, level 9, they're just going to one-shot the wave, and you can't do anything. So your job is to play to skirmishes, play to shove and move, or most importantly, get into the side lane. So I understand why Xerath is annoying as well, because if the game does stall out, right? And you don't really get much done, or you're playing a champion that maybe also doesn't have the greatest side lane, the game kind of then turns into a point where Xerath is going to hold on, get to 3 items, and just be an absolute nuisance in team fights.
Yeah, and you can't interact. You're just getting just obliterated, like artillery.
Yeah, artillery.
So I versus Xerath yesterday, mid lane Xerath, and I took a 2v2 bot, and he ulted me from mid, and I lost the game. That's one of the reasons why people think this champ's annoying, right? From the AD carry perspective, he can influence your lane from mid, which is fucking annoying, and also you'll just be on the mid wave pretending I'm playing normal League of Legends, and then all of a sudden the fucking Blitzkrieg rock up and start fucking nuking you from above. And like at the end of the day, when that happens in a coaching session, all I say to them is, Xerath's going to ult you at a couple of points in this game. You're going to have to dodge.
You have some fancy
There's
footwork.
It's a dodgeball champion.
It is,
right at the end of the day. If you ignore the micro aspects of the game versus Xerath, you won't be able to win. If you can bait his ulti and just dodge a few spells, like rush T2 boots if you can, and just dodge their spells, it's really
If you avoid Xerath's R, if you're a really, good movement, and you avoid most of them, not everyone, but you avoid most of them, he's not really a champ.
No, it alleviates so much pressure for the map as well.
Yeah.
But if you just get hit by them and die, then you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, exactly right.
Xerath E, I think people just run into it. I see people hit by a lot of Xerath E's.
I don't view that as even part of his kit, really.
That's crazy.
It's not my problem.
I really struggle to dodge Xerath E.
When I think it's Xerath E, I think it's just the most telegraphed thing
It
ever.
is.
Just one horizontal movement and it's gone. Like,
I think that as
it's
a jungler,
interesting.
I can't accept the fact that this champion hasn't, because I need to...
You need to go in to
I need
punish
to
him and kill him.
walk forward sometimes, and that eliminates that path. And then
think about like a Hecarim running in and then a beautiful sidestep and then wrap around.
I guess I'm just not capable.
No, but Xerath, if you're in a scenario where
mindset.
you're running directly at a Xerath, you've probably already fucked up.
That's right.
Xerath's biggest weakness is getting coming from the side,
and I
or
know
coming
that,
from
but
the
I can't
flank,
accept that he's that he's going to have
It's another run in, Jeff.
It's another run in. Yeah, it is. I mean, that is Xerath's wet dream is Xerath sitting in a front to back ARAM, right? And everyone's literally just running at him, and he can just piff out W's and E's and Q's, and he can just laugh. He's laughing, right? He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think the W is way more annoying than the E, by the way. Support Xerath, because the W in lane is undodgeable. If he puts it in the middle, you don't have time to run out of it. You have to predict it. Or
You
whatever.
can, but it's hard.
You
It's not
can't do it
easy.
reactively. You have to be preparing.
Yes,
for
you have
it,
to be
right?
anticipating.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's really that's an annoying spell. Very fat.
Next up is Anivia. Now for this segment, I can only provide why it's annoying versus how to deal with it. I think Anivia is the best champ in the game. I have a probably 10% win rate versus Anivia. And the champion is just too much CC, too hard to kill when it should be killable. Its scaling's insane. Its damage is insane. The war, the slow is the most obnoxious. Like walking around, waddling in the slow. Why
are you in it? Why are you in the slow?
I'm just in the slow, and I just get E down, and the E is just the most obnoxious. I hate the E. It's so obnoxious.
I'm going to remind you of what we discussed in the previous episode, which I've actually confirmed via scientific study, which is that we are biased playing as the best Anivias. And I did actually verse a real shit Anivia. I was like, oh, this is it makes it. I noticed it. I'm like,
Isn't that what I said?
That's why I'm quoting it from the last podcast.
Yeah.
You said that the good Anivias obviously make the champ look OP,
Yes.
but it's actually fucking hard.
So
Yes.
it's sort of like a Rengar situation, like an
Yes.
insane Anivia, they can have 80% win rate type.
I
stuff.
think-
No, not
Or
to that.
not.
No way to that.
How would you win?
How would you win it? Yeah, how is that possible?
I just think that there's no hard games as Anivia, but yeah.
Nathan, think about Rengar. Rengar gets to pick his fights. He
Yeah.
can seek out targets and
That's
kill
true.
them.
Anivia
Anivia has
can't.
to sit back and wait.
Anivia has no mobility. You have
Yeah.
no gap closer.
You can't force a kill.
So you have to move around the map.
No, you have to get to fight. I mean, fucking use.
Well, there's so many things that Nivea is like.
to move around the map.
I mean, think about it.
What does that
Move her around the map.
I'll move
Flip-flop.
her around the map.
Show
Oh.
top, go bot, catch side.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to drag it to the side. You're right. You got to keep making her move around. Exactly right.
Fake A,
Good.
plant B.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also just got to she struggles into mobility because how are your all your damage revolves around getting someone in your art
Nathan waddling into your
yeah,
arms.
basically, right? Now, yes. So this is why I say Anivia in the right games can be overpowered. Like if you see Anivia in those games, full melee comps, right? Super low range, no engage. You see a Graves, Scion, or whatever, like a
Renekton, Alistar.
Renekton, Alistar, Kai'Sa. It's just
Yeah.
it's holy shit. This or with a Rise mid. Anivia is going to be one of the most overpowered champs in the game because it's very difficult to kind of get past. Get on top of it, right? But into mobility, she really struggles, because she's skill shot heavy. She has like very like linear abilities. And then also as well, she struggles in the side. She struggles to shove and move. And she can also get outranged, right? Traditionally, Anivia's also struggled into high range. Like when the best champs into Anivia are things that have like high range. It's another archetype that can beat her. She can beat high range. Like if you play like Xeraths and Syndras and
seems like she's also kind of weak to non-committal engage as well. Like I think I played Ashe against that Anivia. It was quite easy. Like Leona, champs that can kind of CC her without going near her.
Yes.
Again, the outrange mindset.
Outrange.
Yeah.
Jin, all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's just again, okay, so I agree.
Not Rek'Sai.
I agree that she is an annoying champion. I don't disagree with that. I just think that she's annoying situationally. A Rengar is annoying every game. And Anivia, I don't think Anivia is annoying every game. It's kind of, she can be extremely annoying. And I totally agree with that. But like, this is where I agree with her placement on the tier list. I'm glad to see she's not in like SA, whatever. She's lower down because she's just too situational.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I agree. So how do you play against Anivia? What's the general rule of thumb? Just don't run into her.
Don't run into her.
Play the side, like
coming from if you have to run into her, coming from the side, coming from the flank, coming from differing angles, so she doesn't just get that beautiful control point front to back.
I also generally, as a rule of thumb, I like to try and avoid playing in chokes versus champs like that as well.
Exactly.
And then obviously kill her without passive, right? I do farm Anivia's without passive.
Really? I don't think. Do you care about the passive? I mean, I don't really have a choice.
Not in mid game, but in lane, yeah.
In mid game, I feel like if they're going to egg, they're going to die. In mid game, it doesn't matter.
Mid game, it doesn't matter.
So they're just dead either way.
They're dead either way.
The egg will just get killed.
Okay.
But in early lane, it's definitely in early game you need to think.
Well, I mean, we could get into Anivia, but don't good Anivias use the egg as a resource and shit? It's
exactly
mental.
right. They're meant to die on purpose.
They trade all their HP, go into egg, come back full HP.
Yeah.
And then use win lane.
Yeah.
Oh,
how cool is that? Have a champ evolved? It's pretty cool.
Imagine having that confidence to do that, dude.
Or some even just die and then TP away in the egg form.
Yeah, that's the classic because you can TP as the egg.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do.
God help me.
There's a lot of skill cap to Anivia. High skill cap champ.
All right, next one on the docket is Ambessa.
Curtis put it on the list.
Why is this so low?
You know which role voted for Ambessa?
AD carry.
Mid.
Makes sense.
You've created a culture in the mid lane academy of anti-Ambessa people. Everyone hates it.
It
was one of the first ones listed because no one listed in AD carry, not one person.
Wow. I'm sure I'm not alone here. Ambessa has to be one of the most obnoxious champions in League of Legends. Surely. Right?
And why? Because of the dashes, the jumps, the damage. The ult's quite easy to dodge.
She's just the ultimate bruiser. It's like
She's
you've taken
top
Darius
bruiser.
and you've shot her with like fucking an Ana bullet from Overwatch and just made him the most broken thing in the game. Like it's just like Darius on steroids. Just fucking jump around. Like what? It's giving a bruiser that much mobility and like crowd control from that engage range. It's the way they balance bruisers in League of Legends generally is they make them,
numbers.
Yeah,
slow and fat.
Yes, I was going to say slow and fat. And Ambessa's the opposite. She's hyper mobile.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just find her frustrating because she has. It almost feels like like I get it. She has the mobility. She has the mobility. She has the engage. But I feel like with that amount of mobility and that amount of like engage, I feel as though she can build bruiser and still do too much damage. I feel like
I think she's tanky. She's too hard to kill and she does too much damage.
Or the shield on the W or something. Yeah. Something needs to be like, because I feel like I get vibes of old Cassante. Remember when Cassante would do too much? Remember it was just broken by concept because it would do too much damage and it was tanky and it had high skill cap. That's how I feel with Ambessa.
And Zehen on release as well.
And Zehen, same thing. These are the champs that like I think are the most broken in League of Legends. Like the Zehens, the Cassantes, and the
well, there was a period of time. Like Ambessa's been nerfed a bit, so jungle and Ambessa's dropped off a little bit for the nerfs.
Didn't they get buffed? I thought Ambessa got buffed.
I think it got buffed a bit because then I think it's a bit shit again. I don't know if that was for top lane or jungle, but there was a phase where Ambessa's Zehen was banned like every game in my lobbies.
So like I have no problem with having all that mobility and having the engagement, but it feels like it needs to be like more strategic to get your damage off and survive. That's how I feel. I feel like whether that is a reduction, like removal of the shield on the W or some shit, or like a massive reduction of the shield, whether it's like less scaling, AD scaling on some of the numbers, whatever. I just think that the kit has too much.
I think there's a lot of things they could change. You're right. There's a lot of levers to pull. Even something like increasing the cast time on the R might be a bit helpful because I feel like that's just pretty bullshit as well. The speed that the
speed of it. Yeah. So I again, like the kit, I don't mind it. It's cool to have high skill expressive champions, but when you see like people who are like not having a lot of champion mastery and having success on champions that should, in my opinion, be high skill expressive, again, it's a bit of a red flag. So
I think one of the champion's weaknesses, I'm sure Chippy's has notes, but I think it has a weaker lane than other bruises.
Yes, it does.
Should lose to Renekton's and Darius's and like other.
it gets
bruises.
hard counted, yeah.
But that's why you put it in the jungle.
Put it in the jungle.
It's just
that's where I think it's going to live. It's too weak to play in
think
mid
so as
lane for the
well.
most part. It's too weak. It gets counted by a lot in top.
Yeah.
It's going to be more of a jungler.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a Talon.
So Chippy's hot tips for playing laning against Ambessa is bait out her Q by pretending to CS, then punish its cooldown. Take early game push and use it to secure the first base in most lanes. So again, talking about she's weak in lane. Punish her cooldowns very clearly. 99% of Ambessa's players don't disengage trades well with her mobility.
Yep. You're meant to play short trade poke. When I played a bit of Ambessa mid, you have to short trade poke and then like on your last Q, you kind of Q out, fade away Q, peel back.
And the last one is almost any champion with Conqueror or Lethal Tempo will beat her in a long trade. So play for extended trades.
Another trend we've seen on the tier list is short trade champions.
Yeah.
People struggle against them because they don't know how to force an extended trade. Because it's very unintuitive. A trade sounds like it should start and end, but the extended trade is how you beat a lot of these champions.
Because think about it psychologically. Okay, I've just walked up and I've tried to trade. They out damaged me right now. Oh, I need to run away.
Yeah, but you actually need to keep
Yeah, you
going.
need to
Because that's
keep
it. They're
going,
done now.
'cause they're
mate.
out of
They've
gas.
used this. Imagine an Ambessa clonking autos onto you. Like, she does not win though.
No.
So it's the same with champs like Naafiri as well. Like Naafiri
Right.
will
It is.
clonk like autos on you. So yeah, people
Clonking autos.
So people just really struggle with the whole extended trade concept.
I think that's really important, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think, look, I think Ambessa is one of those champions though that once it finds its niche. Like I feel like Riot is still trying to find where it lives. I don't really think Riot know at the moment, to be honest, where it lives. Like we're seeing it kind of in every role, and
I'd
I
hope
don't
if
know.
it to be removed from the game, honestly.
I think it will just
think
get the Cassante effect. It will get the Cassante treatment. Sorry, at some stage.
I just feel like at this point, I've gotten so much practice playing against Ambessa. I kind of like playing. I don't mind it anymore.
You like it in your games. It's
I
like
mean, I know how to play at range
It
better.
has more obvious
mental sacrifice
counterplay.
for the goal. Yeah, it is a bit more honest in my opinion
It
than
is.
other champions. It's obviously strong, but I don't mind that. I've just played against it so much. I want them to keep it. I've just spent all this time learning how to do it.
But for me though, it's purely jungle. I don't really give a shit about lane. Lane Ambessas usually are just they're less active on the map. Obviously, they're usually again weaker. I feel like than jungle Ambessas.
Jungle Ambessa is more of a mid lane problem because they're ganking mid. They can't really gank bot as easily, and they're 3v3 around mid. They don't really come near me.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
couldn't care less. I'm biased again. Happily biased.
next up we have Yorick.
So in Top Lane Academy, this was very highly voted for. When I was coaching top lane, this was alongside Alawi. This was the most annoying champ to vote. Is Alawi on the list? I'm surprised
No.
she's not. Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah, I mean Yorick's a get more meta at the moment as well.
I mean, I actually personally thoroughly dislike versing a good Yorick.
Yeah.
A good Yorick can be a little bit annoying, right? The ones that really know how to use their maiden. We've got famously the guy from Varus. What's his name? Slogdog. Yeah, he was very annoying to deal with. I think Yorick, though, he just comes and goes. Like, I feel like sometimes he's like a massive problem and then like he just becomes really weak and you don't see it for ages. I kind of feel like it's situational.
Is it based on like split push items and stuff?
So Yorick's
Remember when Hullbreaker was like really strong? That's when like Yorick was
Out of control.
disgusting.
Yeah.
the general reason that Yorick is meta at the moment, at least in the competitive side, is he counters top laners like Jace and Varus.
It's an old school chase counter,
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, in solo queue, I think the two reasons he's annoying is number one, he wins lane when he lands his E, and people can't dodge his E. And then in the mid game, everyone loses their marbles because he drags everyone around the map, and we all know, especially in like a below platinum context, dealing with split pushes is fucking hell on earth, and the Rick will just backdoor your base. That's how the Yoricks went. They backdoor your base, and it's very frustrating.
Rick.
I think that's like, you're right. It is more of a lower tier, like between bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah.
That's where people
Awesome champ for those elos.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very
Excellent
little
champion.
counterplay. It
Very
just gets
little-
out of control. And
It
it's just
does get out of
pushing
control.
God. Yeah.
Bonk. You're bonking with the
And
spade.
it gets so strong that you can't even gank it. It kind of turns into a 2v1 machine. And even if it does die, you're sweating for it. It creates a lot of time.
Too much
and energy.
resources.
Too much
Your
resources.
enemy team does Nash when you go kill it.
Yep.
It's just a great split pusher, and I think split pushes are frustrating to verse.
So what's the counterplay to Yorick? If you'll give advice to the average gold top laner?
Should we listen to Chippy's
I'll let
first?
that bloke do it.
sure.
Yeah.
So Coach Ship is here, says bait and dodge his E.
Yeah.
Charles.
He'll use it when you go for CS or pretend to CS a move. Chippy's big on pretending to last hit.
Yeah, faking last hits is big for baiting out spells across all roles, for sure.
His W cage is also dodgeable if you move erratically. Make it extremely volatile 1 to 5 to try to gain an early game lead. Don't trade auto attack for auto attack for him. His Q will always outperform because on such a short cooldown.
Yeah. I mean, Yorick is the opposite of a short trading champion, right? He's really strong in the extended fight. And you have to punish the cooldown. The thing Chippy's means as well to bait out his E is you bait the E, and then when the E's on cooldown, you fight him. When the E's on cooldown. It's an important second part to this thing. It's like Alawi as well. When Alawi wastes the tentacle, you then fight her. So
another thing as well, I do this versus Yorick is I try to kill the maiden. A lot of Yoricks would be a little bit blasé with the maiden. Try to kill it. Same thing with Daisy with Ivan. Like
I think that is the AD carry's job is to kill the pest.
Kill pet.
Tibbers, kill Ivan's Daisy thing.
Don't
kill the
ignore
maiden.
them. Don't ignore the maiden. Don't ignore Daisy.
Yes.
Don't ignore the Tibbers. Like kill
Yep.
them. Like they do a lot of damage and they go on cooldown, right? So I think that is an obvious thing, but it's big.
Yeah. I think in the mid game as well, regardless of what role you're playing, Yoricks generally have a tendency to be over aggressive on side, and you can often just rock up and kill them very
that's
quickly and
right.
go back to midway.
Because they don't know how to sink pressure.
No,
no
that's
Yorick
right.
below Emerald is going to be sinking pressure.
Yep.
They're going to be. There's going to be, even though you can't kill them as a 1v1, you'll be able to collapse onto them, and the enemy won't be ready to trade for it.
Also, very specifically, a play I make all the time versus split pushes is 1 minute before the objective spawns, you make one trip to the opposite side of a neutral to kill the split pusher, and then go
Then
set
group
up
on
the
neutral.
objective.
Yeah,
That
nice.
makes the neutrals OP to take.
Yep.
So if
'Cause
you have the
Yorick
mental
can't
stack
team
to do
fight.
that kind of thing, exactly. He can't do it.
He can't team
Yeah,
fight.
he can't play
only
structured
play.
5v5.
He can only play side.
Okay, that wraps up our C tier. Moving on to D tier of the most annoying champions to verse in the game. Evelynn, Teemo, Caitlyn, and Garen.
Guys,
All right, I'm going to rapid fire. I want to start with Evelynn. Can I start with Evelynn, Nathan?
You,
as the host.
You're S tier, Evelynn.
Oh, I
You
hate
still?
Evelynn.
You
I
still
hate Evelynn.
because it just warps the game.
Again, it's a game warper,
Yeah.
right? I mean, again, I
stack.
put a premium on this whole idea that if you don't show on the map in mid game as one of these champions, a Rengar or an Evelynn, even a Nocturne to a certain degree, but probably less so, but Rengar and Evelynn specifically, they warp the game. They prevent sidelanders from doing what they want to do, and they kind of force you to group. And I'm not saying there is no counterplay. There's plenty of counterplay to these champions. Just group on neutrals, hurt there, right? They can't team fight, but I hate that. I don't like. I don't
you
like
like winning
that.
by
I
dragging
like-
people around.
Yes, I like playing the game of dragging people around the map and dragging them to the side, and like it just counters the way I enjoy playing League of Legends. So that's my emotional. This is my emotional vote.
You know what to do. You just can't accept it.
I
refuse
just
to.
dislike it. I just don't enjoy the game. How the game is warped. Just get that shit out of my games, please. So that's my vent of the today, Charlie. I was permitted one. That was
That's
my
good.
vent.
I like that vent. That's nice. I probably had that same vent maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like I just said, Evelyn's just gone. Just gone.
Yeah, no one really plays her.
Can't really skirmish.
Yeah, can't.
Isn't
skirmish.
the game just transformed into more of a skirmishing game?
Have
And-
you seen the top lane Evelynn player?
Oh, I have got no, but he makes the game so volatile. The top lane Evelynn player, runs Ignite and goes to solo bolos.
No, he gets to level 6 in lane and then perma roams. He doesn't go back to top.
but like early levels is what I'm talking about. He gets super
He gets
aggressive.
ahead.
early
No, he gets
levels.
ahead. He solo kills people.
Solo kills people.
Solo kills someone at level 3.
Fascinating.
And then he like lane ganks bot and does
Yeah.
weird stuff.
So it's a good versus top lane champs or something.
It can stat check
Jeez.
early. I actually used to coach an Evelynn mid in the Midland Academy and do the same thing. Evelynn
it's
has
level 2.
a really strong level 1, level 2.
Yeah.
the
Really, really
electrocute
strong.
proc with the Q
What's
into
that?
E.
That's
and
that
then,
little like bullshit. It
Yeah, Q.
squirts out like Squirtle.
Hate spike.
Hate spike.
so the hate spike is you throw one
Water gun.
and then the rest are like automatic.
Right. That thing
Yeah,
does
that thing.
so much damage.
Interesting.
And the Evelynn player that I used to coach in mid, he would just like run at people level 1 and no one knows what it does. Like no one knows how much damage it. And he gets like chunks people to like quarter HP level 1.
I guess I just have never thought that because obviously I'm jungle Evelynn. Like, yeah, Q's good for killing raptors and stuff, but I never thought it did a lot of damage to champions like level 1, level
I
2.
saw a game recently with the Evelynn top. It solo killed Aurelia at level 2 or something, and I was like, I looked up, I'm like, oh fuck, we're in for a treat
piss
this
banger,
game.
yeah.
And it was chaos in mid game.
Yeah. I've coached a lot of Evelyns. Evelyns, they lose their minds when people start grouping in the team fighting in the mid game. Like you say her, but like like it works.
It works.
Like it's insane.
It's like a bug repellent.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
everyone's little rat of a champion. You get your rat repellent. You have to put the rat traps out.
Yeah.
And that's how you beat her.
Especially like, you control ward, do that control ward thing like the behind
Yep.
and all that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, Nathan, is Evelynn a good solo queue champion?
It's a good question.
Putting you on the spot here.
It's really tough.
If you're working with a silver Evelynn player who's looking to climb to diamond,
No.
It's not really.
No.
I think it's a 90%
Bullshit.
win rate.
I
I think you get 99% win rate to Masters.
Guys.
100%.
Yeah, I
it-
agree.
It's it's the best Smurfing champion, one of the best Smurfing champions in
Yeah,
the
he
game.
said silver to diamond.
Yeah, but if you're actually a silver
you
player,
are a silver player.
you
So it's not
cannot-
intuitive to learn those skills.
No, it's
I
so
see.
so hard to. You have to predict where people are going to be in the silo.
So it's like a high like skill cap game sense type champ.
Yes, it's a game
skill
sense. It's
is
a pub
stomper.
pub stomper.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
pub stomper if you're higher than the rank you're playing in. Yes, Evelynn has an easy time, but I would not recommend it for learning the game. But in saying that,
What about Ishan?
yeah, Ishan, I do know some other Evelynn players that had. So Ishan, I wouldn't say he's like bad gamer like mechanically, but some people that really struggle with mechanics actually do get a lot of success with Evelynn. So you actually,
Is it a thinking man's champion?
yeah, more of a thinking man's champion, I guess. Like mechanical execution.
Because you're never fighting a fair fight.
Yeah, actually, and even if they're not really that good at the thinking still things, you can still just run and kill people. So, okay, I will reframe that. I think I wouldn't say it's the best, but I think it's okay.
Solid.
It's a pretty good solid.
Like B
yeah.
tier, C tier?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and how you play against it is kind of just, again, assassin fundamentals.
Yep.
Very similar
Group,
to playing against a
neutrals.
Nocturne. Just copy paste the Nocturne section.
Yep.
Bam.
I would say that like in previous seasons and stuff, but just the AP items have just sort of just been a little bit brutalized a little bit. Like it sort of depends
Again,
on how AP
Nocturne
items.
can scrap in the river. Evelynn can't scrap in the river. That's my perspective on the champ as well.
I feel like you used to play a lot of Evelynn.
I used to play a lot of Evelynn. I loved it.
What happened?
I
can't imagine you playing
game.
Evelynn.
No, I need to do shit early game. I'm not.
Remember Nathan made that awesome Eve guide back in the
My
day?
Eve guy was a masterpiece.
Yeah, Nathan lost his way. That was his peak.
Yeah.
That was his, what do they call it?
Don't say it, guys. He goes, his magnum opus.
That thing.
Not Nathan's Magnus Opus, which I think he
That
said
was a
last time.
maximum OPS.
Maximum Opus.
His Magnum ice cream.
Magnum Opus.
Teemo.
Yeah, Teemo.
I'm surprised it's not higher.
Yeah.
We were talking to Lucas before, and he's a coach in the Middle Lane Academy. He thought Teemo would be higher.
Yeah.
Teemo's just like annoying for top laners, and no one else cares.
The
about
amount of time I pan my camera top and I see like a Darius trying to whack a Teemo blind or something like
Really?
that. I see some hilarious shit when I pan my camera top into a Teemo. I'm surprised it's not higher.
Yeah.
The top lane is just voting.
I think Teemo is annoying to verse, to be honest with you. I think it should be at least A or B.
The top lane community have basically said Heimerdinger is more annoying than Teemo.
They have, yeah.
Which just makes sense, I guess.
But Teemo, the most annoying thing for me is just stepping on a shroom.
Yeah, it's just the shrooms.
But in mid game, I make it
blinds
my
are lame.
life's fucking sole purpose to kill those mushrooms.
Sweeper,
I will
dude.
sweep
Sweeper
around.
is broken. Do you get an early sweeper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I think the team
I
should
played
have
a
four
game.
sweepers,
I
yeah.
played a game
Sweeper's insane.
against Teemo yesterday, and my entire mission was getting to the area and just. I was literally, where's Teemo
wow.
been? I'm going around. I'm
That Teemo
sweeping.
can't play the game.
Yeah, he can't play the game.
Wow.
Like I make it my mission because as soon as you remove those shrooms around the neutrals, the champ just becomes kind of useless.
Yeah, and if you're pushing waves, what you should do is you should walk with the minions, not to the side, because the sides of a lane are where the shrooms are, and let the minions go first and pop the shrooms.
Yep. So what did Chippy say anything about Teemo?
It did indeed. Hot tips to play against Teemo. Bush control is key. Utilize bushes to CS and trade. He can't face check you. Doran Shield second win is mandatory.
It'd be OP into that.
Usually playing to stay 80% plus HP, levels 1 to 3, then all in on your bounce back. Really
Yeah,
practical
classic.
stuff.
I remember doing that when we played Garen. Remember back in the day?
Yeah.
Garen into Teemo.
Level 3, stay healthy.
That
and
was
the
me.
sprint
I was the Teemo.
Yeah. We did 1v1s of them
Yeah,
actually,
we
didn't
did,
we?
yeah.
Sweeper and control wards post 6 are very useful for shroom stomping.
Yeah, the best, to get specific on that playing the bushes, best case scenario I found melee into Teemo is you play bushes, make Teemo ward the bushes, then call for a gank because he has no ward in the river.
Done.
Fucking works 10 out of 10 times. Because Teemo's just guided ganks, I think. That's what my advice is for a lot of those
Super
shitty
vulnerable,
matchups.
easy
Yeah,
to
just
kill.
guide a gank.
Yep.
Just kill him. Unless it's USC Nathan, because
Squish
Nathan
him.
won't gank for Teemo. Nathan will let you rod.
Yeah, I do, don't I, actually? I don't actually know Teemo as well. It's my whole reverse anti-win con thing.
The
right?
anti-win con. I love the anti-win con. That's
No,
so
if you want ganks, you should play Ornn. Get counterpicks Vayne
Yeah,
into Ornn
exactly
and play
right.
Ornn.
Yes,
That's where you'll
right.
get ganks. But if you're playing Vayne into Ornn, you won't get a gank.
No, you won't get a game.
Which is nuts.
It's mental.
Next up, we have Caitlyn. No idea why this champion's on this list.
Charles.
Yeah, it's exclusively 80 carries, just getting bashed in the head in laning phase.
Just
Again,
can't win the
Nathan,
game.
would you like to play a hyper carry into Caitlyn in lane with a counterpick support? It's not fun. It's very annoying.
I
It's
guess
just,
you can't play the game.
no, you just get bashed in the head early game, but you'll win the game.
Yeah, but I guess going down 30 farm is probably one of the most miserable experiences in League of Legends.
Oh
right?
yeah, it crushes your ego.
Yeah.
For sure. It's
Like
very
even if you win
soul-destroying.
that game as an
It
AD
feels
carry, you're
shit.
not happy.
Feels bad to win.
But that's how it should be, though. People
Yeah,
just
but
can't
like-
accept that.
So if I'm versing a Varus and I go down 30 farm and win, I feel good because like fuck you, Varus is shit. But if that happens against a Caitlyn, I kind of feel bad because I'm like, poor Caitlyn.
You deserve to win.
It's happened again, Caitlyn. No, because you see it happening over time. Like, fuck, oh, she made a mid-game mistake. Oh no, she died on that timer, and then she's ruined.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, versing Caitlyn is just a lot about accepting reality of your matchup. Just be honest about the 2v2 blueprint. Concede. Try and like call for ganks when the Caitlyn overextends. Caitlyn also has a very shit combat ulti, so a lot of champions can all in the Caitlyn at 6. You need to put a lot of mental stack onto her W's and not stand on them. Learn the spots under the tower where she puts for W's and avoid those spots. Don't stand in the corridor of doom between the tower and the wall. You will die. Stand in the open space on the top half of the lane where she can't really trap you.
Get him to place. Don't let her get to places first and set up traps.
Yeah, but I don't think people struggle in the mid game at all. It's just
Okay.
laning phase. People just get bashed in the head in laning phase. And a lot of the time, it's just forcing trades. Like if you see the Caitlyn Q the wave, you can go for trades. And obviously timing a headshot, like tracking a headshot and taking trades around that is good. But most of the time, you just want to. I mean, it's matchup dependent, but just avoid that whole situation from occurring and just concede slowly and play for jungle ganks. Caitlyn is pretty trash 3v3 and bad at 6. So those are the two reference points: bad 3v3, bad level 6. They're the two main ones. And yeah, like Nathan said, mid-game, if you can flank her, she's obviously weak to flanks like every AD carry is, and also thrives with setup, can't face check areas, needs you to run into her. If you don't run into her, she's useless. And she will throw the game. Just know that in the back of your mind. Even if it's not true, just have some like double think fake psychology where like the Caitlyn will throw in the mid-game. Just repeat that to yourself. And it will actually make you play better.
Love that advice. Next up, we have Gaza.
I love Garen.
Now, Garen's ult is sort of the most ridiculous thing in League of Legends, right? Like, isn't it ridiculous? Remember we watched that clip yesterday? The guy walked up to the Hecarim and just him and just died. And then they lost the fight though still anyway after that. But it's just funny how that interaction works.
This is the point and click nuclear bomb. It's kind of odd, isn't it?
It isn't odd. It's not what you
really
would think
outdated.
the kit would have.
No.
Right? Like I think a lot of it's not intuitive.
What are you talking about? He's got a huge sword.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but if actually casts a spell, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like a paladin.
Yeah, it is a bit like
Yeah.
a pally, yeah.
So why do you think Garen
Is
is on
really
this
annoying.
list? What do you think people
I
struggle
think it's
with?
just from the split push aspect. I think this guy can get out of control. I'm even
Hard
more
to kill.
scared of a Garen than a Yorick these days.
I'm going to look up what people said about Garen.
Because Garen, I feel like if he gets ahead, he becomes very, very hard to kill.
That's
His
the
wave
hard to
clear is
kill.
obnoxious.
He
He can
sprints around.
proxy very, very well. He can tromp down towers.
You can't burst him because he can W to block your damage and you can't all in him. He has a low burden of execution and is really good in the meta. He also scales well and is very tanky and does damage. So he's again that tank damage combo people don't like. Rosh says here, this is a goal play. Must I say more? Garen takes one bad trade in lane and then just goes AFK and goes back to full
Heals.
HP.
I was going to say the passive.
The passive.
The
People don't like the
passive.
passive.
That does make
You
sense.
put so much work in. It's so, you know,
Yeah.
usually you get rewarded in League of Legends for
Yeah.
playing trades well or whatever, but he can get away with it. I guess the annoying thing is the easiness. How,
Yeah, I don't think people like being beaten by the easy champion.
yeah, that's really tilting.
Yeah.
Scoba says his wave clear as well. You can't poke him because he can heal. Combine that with his high wave clear, and it's impossible to shove him out of lane.
Yeah.
You also can't get Prior to rotate because he just wave clears, trades his HP for the wave, and then heals.
Yeah, that's true. You can just either
And
way.
it's quite annoying, actually.
Press W and then just disappear and heal back up. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. It's pretty non-interactive gameplay.
But again, it's very matchup dependent. We know that there's ways in specific matchups to put effort into not letting him get his passive off, right? Not letting him sit in bushes, not letting him trigger it up. And then when he does do that, you just shove the wave, take a good tempo recall, and then you come back with that
The kit,
item.
I think, is very honest, though. It's a very honest kit. It's very one-dimensional, right? Like, he runs at you, right? He doesn't have a gap closer. He's very kiteable. You know, I think he's probably more frustrating in lane more than anything else. Probably, I'm assuming. What a lot of people think.
Yeah, which is interesting because I actually think Garen in the mid game can
Yeah,
be very,
me
very
too.
annoying.
It's
Like
the
Garen
mid
with
game,
Flash specifically, he can just Flash QER you and you're gone.
Yeah.
And he pushes side really. He's a good split pusher too.
Very good split pusher. I think he's
Yeah.
one of the best in the game.
When I was on my Garen journey and I was winning a lot of games on Garen, it was just really good playing side.
It's interesting because you don't see a lot of like great Garen players. You know what I mean? Like, I think the type of personality that is drawn to Garen.
It's sort of like your Kayn theory.
Reminds me of your Garen video that
What
you
was
did.
my Garen video?
You did a whole video dissecting a Garen about
A few weeks ago.
gosh, you just made it.
Really? Garen? Was it Garen? Oh, yes, the Garen. Yes, sorry, I
What
forgot
was
that
that guy's?
one.
I forget his
I thought
name.
because the other one was
Garen.
Garen.
Freaky Garen.
Garen, yeah.
Freaky Garen.
Because I think the personality type, if you're drawn to Garen, you're not really thinking, you're not like a thinking man's.
Yeah, it's Brad.
Yeah, it's Brad come off the surf looking for that
call him
sort of thing. Chad, Brad, and like whereas like, but it's
off the
interesting, right?
surf.
Because you're
Come off the surf.
you're also not
So
a mechanical based player as well. Because if you're a mechanical based player, you would play Fiora, you'd play Camille, you'd play,
Riven or something.
or Riven, right? So you're this weird in between, right? Where I guess you can lump them in with like the Darius players, but even Darius players, they have to be a little bit more disciplined because
Yeah, they're more disciplined,
surgical.
yeah.
Like
because
Darius,
they get punished for playing bad, but Garen can play bad and get away
so
with
it's
it.
kind of like it is right, Nathan. You're right. It's Kayn. It's
Yeah, it is
similar to
Kayn,
Kayn,
yeah.
where like you can get away with a lot of sloppy shit. So just by nature of like the kit, it doesn't. It's like a blunt knife. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't get sharpened through more reps. You can. It's always going to be a little bit rough around the edges. Whereas like a Talon player, like we were saying before, just by nature of the kit, you're going to be sharp. You're going to be more surgical. You're going to be more precise. Or like even with a Rengar player versus a Kayn player. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
It's the
Actually.
type of person that's drawn to it.
Yeah.
So-
And it's also what the champ
And also what
teaches
the
you.
teachers, yeah. it's
Yeah.
what
And
the
what it
champ
teaches, exactly right. So like you just don't. That's why you don't see a lot of like great Garens. I think Garen has a lot of potential. I think a great Garen can be
80% rate again.
really
is a
scary.
tough thing.
Maybe not 80%, but like really scary.
Nathan's
There's
gauge
just
on
none
what
of
wins
them.
games is so odd sometimes. Like 80% win rate. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What did I say? 80% win rate. Garen,
Anivia.
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 Nathan's going to go Smurf on Anivia.
I can't wait till Nathan plays Anivia one day.
That'd be awesome.
All right, our last tier, F tier. These got really low votes, but they got the
They're in the
next ones.
conversation.
They're in the conversation, and the interesting ones. Vladimir, Riven, Yasuo, Marcier, and Gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank was mentioned a fair few times in the top lane one, weirdly enough.
GP? You want to start with GP?
Let's start with GP. I think GP, there's certain games where I'm like, I mentally give up, like the Smolder. Like this champ, there's too much mental stack to dodge the barrels, and he's just doing tons of damage.
Gangplank players are good
Yeah,
gamers.
they're good
They're
gamers.
good
Good
damn
gamers.
Agree,
gamers.
good
Especially
gamers.
the Chinese Garens
Yes.
are so good at the game.
Yes.
And they just deal more damage. And they just are better at the barrel minigame than you. They'll always hit the barrel first. And that champion has too much gold, too much damage. I agree. I think Gangplank, if piloted well,
A good GP.
is by one of the best, probably top 10 champions
But you
in
don't
the whole
really
game.
see
80%
bad
win rate.
GPs though. You don't really
I
see
agree
average
with that one.
GPs.
He would get 80% win. I agree with that.
If the player was better, if the players were
Yeah.
better, yeah.
Right, like,
no,
like
no one plays because it's too boring and underwhelming.
Yeah,
if you're bad
it
at
requires
it,
patience.
Yes.
Poise, patience.
it's an OTP
positioning.
champ as well.
It is an OTP champ, exactly right. I think the champ is just kind of one of those champs that it reminds me of it's the TF of top. I mean, sorry, you know what I mean? So you got TF players in mid, you got GP players. Let's actually do a thought experiment. What are the best, like some of the, like, you think of champions, this is a quick aside, I think it's an interesting one.
Yep.
You think of champions in every role that breed kind of just scary, good players.
Oh, interesting.
Let's start with top, right? We see GP. GP's one
Maybe
of
it's a
them.
good one.
Who else do we have in top lane?
I'm thinking like Aurelia, Camille.
Camille
some
players.
reason.
Camille players typically
Yeah,
are quite. I
they're
would
pretty
agree. Camille players because you got to be a combination of like
There's discipline to
There's
Camille.
discipline.
You don't just stomp your
you'll
lane.
get punished.
But you're good at
hard.
the shove and move. You're good at mid game. I think Camille, because I'm thinking of
Yes.
Chippies is
Yes,
really good.
was good Camille.
Safa,
Yeah.
Evelynn is good
Yeah,
at Camille as well.
smart.
Yeah, I think those two here.
I think that.
Jungle?
Yeah, we'll come back to top.
so-
Jungle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talon, we said Talon.
Yeah, Talon.
Yeah.
Am I going the right direction when I said like Kindred, Nidalee, or is that just like a weird, like just anomaly?
I think they
champions?
ruin the games.
No, I think Nidalee players aren't because Nidalee players are
They
like
tried to
they're
be.
trying to be.
They want to be, but they're not.
They don't
actually,
accept reality.
Yeah, that they can't play Nidalee.
What's a good one?
Kindred players are usually not
They
bad.
have to think of a lot of areas. They have to
yeah.
think strategically about the
Yes,
marks,
and the R.
as well as and the I, because you don't have
You have to
combat
get in
thing.
combat and
You
scrap.
can do a lot early game, and also
Yeah.
it teaches you a lot.
Yeah, I would agree. I think
And
Kindred
the-
players
the
in
fighting
general are not
with
bad.
your range champion.
Kindred players, Talon players, definitely. Those two for sure.
I don't know.
I'm sort of a bit of a loss for jungle.
Not, definitely not Lee Sin. Definitely not like any of the bruisers.
We're talking
I
about
had
the
such a
thinking
bias
man
against junglers.
champions.
I just don't like junglers for the most part. It's really hard for me to think of a good like.
I think Ivan players.
Ivan.
Yeah?
Ivan players are usually like a little bit
Yeah.
switched on.
Yeah,
and
they're
everything.
having a crack.
Like I
They're
don't
having
really
a
see
crack, yeah.
bad Ivan players. Like maybe there's obviously room for
Yeah.
improvement, but like you can tell they're really thinking.
I think Kha'Zix players, they have to sweat to get their kills. No? You think
Disagree.
Kha'Zix was dumb?
Don't like cards. No, they're not dumb. They're just
No,
like
they're up there. They're definitely not bad. I would agree.
Fiddlesticks.
Yeah,
deeply unpopular. But
deeply unpopular, but it
I'm
does.
the Fiddlesticks player, so I like that one.
So I would agree. Mid laners, we got TF. I think most TF players, for the most, if you're drawn to TF, you have to be like a combination of mechanical and
I think Ari.
cerebral.
Ari. Ari.
think Ari
yeah.
players?
Ari's
Ari.
a
Okay.
thinking man's
They're having a
champion.
crack. I like Ari.
I'm kind of biased. What do you guys think for mid lane?
Yeah, I like Ari. I like TF.
What about LeBlanc? I don't really see much LeBlanc.
No, I like Syndra.
Syndra players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Syndra
Syndra.
players have to be quite
Yeah.
Yeah,
Precise.
I really like Syndra.
I think Victor as well I'll put in there
a
as
good
well.
Victor.
Yeah.
I think just more people play Victor. Whereas
Yeah.
Syndra, like you got to be a little bit more like, you're not going to win lane as hard. So you got to
I
be.
think Anivia for the most part. If anyone's
think-
picking Anivia,
But I thought you just said you played against really, really
that's
bad,
really
bad
rare.
at the games
That's
in
rare.
India.
That's rare. I think
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people that are on Nivea that are just not thinking.
Yeah.
really.
Nah, just just
I
slam
agree.
waves.
I don't know.
What are 80 carries?
It's pretty tough, mate. Most AD carries just not
They
going
slam
well.
waves.
They're slamming waves.
Really? What about Twitch players?
I'm kidding.
Twitch.
I'm kidding. Twitch.
Well, they're just too one-dimensional. They're just
Oh, I
like
think
a-
Jinx. I think Jinx.
Jinx, yeah.
Good Jinx players, yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx,
Jinx.
Jinx
Yeah,
just
true,
breeds
true.
fundamentals.
Yeah.
True.
Jinx is the perfect AD carry for this.
Yeah, I think good jinxes are scary.
Yeah.
What about like a misfortune?
Yeah, I think Misfortune. I mean, honestly, AD carry is so similar to each other's champions. I think as
Yeah.
long as you're not playing like a weird one, they're all pretty similar.
I think-
What do you guys think about AD?
I think definitely jinx players. If I
Yeah.
see a competent jinx player, I think Jhin players, good Jhin players,
Jhin?
are
Yeah.
scary because they have to be like thinking about positioning, like in and out.
Yeah.
They're not like one dimensional. They know how to like dart in and out. I actually agree for some reason. MF, I don't know why. Like I just think like a lot of MF players, like they're just being more strategic about positioning.
I can tell you why, because MF isn't actually that fun. So if you're playing MF, you're probably playing with MF for
with
a
intention.
reason.
Yeah, interesting.
And I would never say something like Ezreal. Ezreal's like the Nidalee. Like people
Yes,
that think
agreed.
they can play
Agreed.
Ezreal. They
What
just
what about Caitlyn?
and Caitlyn. Nah. Yeah.
Again, it's the same thing. They just think
They
can
get
do it,
away
but
with
they
their lane
can't.
phase just too easy, and then they just think they can mentally check
Yeah,
out.
agreed.
They're a bit silly.
They're a bit silly
Yeah.
for sure.
Caitlyn plays very silly.
And I would say Vayne players. I'd see a lot of decent Vayne. Like they're having a crack. What do you think? You don't see many.
It's not really been my experience coaching Vayne. No.
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 Okay. Maybe I'm confusing with Vayne
Sorry,
tops.
Vayne players. But,
Vayne top.
yeah.
For support, Bard,
Bard
Leona,
players. Good bards.
and Leona.
Alistar.
Yes,
Oh,
Alistar.
Alistar
Give me an
Yeah.
Alistar player.
You already know a good, like if there's
Yeah.
an Alistar that's like, they're a good
And
player.
Rel. I love Alistar and
Good
Rel.
Rel.
Alistar,
Good
Rel.
Ali.
Nautilus? No.
No way.
Nah, no
Yeah.
way.
But Alistar and Rel are
Yes,
fucking
Ali
awesome.
and Rel.
They're thinking man
Thinking man
champions.
champions for
Yeah.
sure. Because to climb with those champs, you got to really know when your go angle is, when
Oh,
your go
yeah.
button is, positioning. You got to be patient.
Oh, for jungle. Let's go
Jana.
back to jungle. I think Rek'Sai for jungle, by the way. I think Rek'Sai
Yeah,
are
true.
really
There's
on
not
the
many
ball.
bad
Okay.
Rek'Sais.
Yeah,
I
they're
agree.
actually doing very well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Jana. I was thinking Jana. I think
Jana?
Jana players are good.
Jana
yeah.
plays are
If
good.
you're an actual Jana player, you're like zipping around the map,
Yes.
canceling spells, being annoying. Yeah, Jana's brilliant.
Jana players
I
are
love
really annoying.
Wow.
Thinking man champions.
Let us know in the comments. I'm actually intrigued what people think about that. People
I love it how this podcast has become listing gems.
This is like those are the intellectual community champions. Or what are they called?
What?
I just like the idea of like a thinking man,
Like Mensa.
the thinking man.
Mensa, is that what it's called?
I think about someone like a fire like with a whiskey, like playing in the league, like with like really
They're
nice.
mulling over life.
As opposed to like, what? Bradley coming off a surf or whatever.
That's right. Bradley coming up
Got a
with
surfboard under his arm, coming in, plunking it down.
plunks it in the corner and goes.
It's funny because if you know Curtis in real life, the idea of Curtis describing someone coming off a surf is just so funny because it's like you're Australian, but it just doesn't work, mate.
I'm just thinking of someone who lives in
You've never
California.
come off a surf.
I'm not saying me. I'm thinking of someone from California. They've
What
just
about
gone
Bondi
long
Beach?
wavy
long
hair.
blonde hair.
I thought of Bondi Beach, dude.
Yeah,
No,
I was thinking
I'm not thinking of
Aussie.
Australian
I
at
was
all. I'm
thinking
thinking of
Aussie.
a Californian,
California.
like blonde-haired a guy named Chad from California. He goes to UCLA or some shit. I don't know. That's
Is
what
it
I'm
a
thinking.
frat?
Yeah, he's in a fraternity. Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
God help, yeah.
All right, next up we've got. Wait, that was a GP conversation. Okay, now we're into Vlad. So Vlad is annoying. Really, people hate versing Vlad.
I don't remember who voted for this. I think
the W, the flanks, the healing, the no resources.
Yeah, Vlad, look, again, I think for the lower tier community, like plat below, gold below, Vlad is a problem.
I
right?
think Vlad's an 80% win rate Smurf champion.
Yeah.
Can be a Smurf champ. Yep, it can pop off. It punishes people who don't understand cooldowns. You have sustain, no mana. It requires a lot of certain skills to be able to punish a good Vlad, right? Like, and a good Vlad will nail you to the lane. They won't. They'll be hard to push out. They're not gonna. They're gonna just stay on top of you,
right? Because they have
and-
no mana.
Yep. And they're just going to just win team fights. So I agree. I think the skill set that is required to punish a Vlad is like takes time.
What is that skill set? How do you punish a Vlad? How do you beat
Yeah,
the Vlad?
you kind of just play for tempo. You play for the wave. You don't get too caught up in trades. Or if you do trade, you really try to like punish that W cooldown. You space the empowered Qs, and you be hyper attentive to summoners because Vlad is not a champion without summoners. With summoners, without there's two different champs. So the moment that Vlad burns, like he might win one fight or kill you, he flash ultis you, whatever. All right, I don't give a flying fuck. You can't be a champ now for the next 5 minutes or something. That's how you beat Vlad.
Cool. Pretty simple.
Now Riven here is a bit of a sleeper. I've had some really big annoyances with Riven.
Yeah, I think Riven's a great champion.
The shield, the jumps, the surprise from the damage sometimes. Like
We're talking 80% win rate champs. Riven
Yeah.
surely is an 80% win rate
The
champion.
cooldowns. Riven's cooldowns are so short.
I mean, you've had a lot of like one tricks. Like, so this is like one tricks that get like, two, you think about like General Sniper and like,
Alois.
What's a Viper?
yeah, Lois, Viper, all that sort of stuff.
Adrian Riven.
You know,
Yeah,
Riven is
a
a
lot of good
champion.
Riven players.
But a bad Riven player is bad, type thing. But a good Riven player is like, okay, 80% win rate.
Yeah, I think Riven can be one of the most annoying champs of the game. Like once Riven gets I think a fed Riven has to be one of the most obnoxious.
Yes.
Hardcore snowballing top laners in the game. Like if you think about a 5-0 of any top laner, Riven has to be one of the most obnoxious.
And it's interesting because it's a champion. It's one of the few champions. Like I think about Yasuo, like a Yone, like those type of champions. Fighters.
yeah.
They ruin the game mid game. But Riven is actually way harder to kill than those champs.
They're harder to kill.
And
She's
they,
too
they,
mobile.
they,
Slippery.
they close out the game.
Tankier,
Like they're
slippery.
fine. If they're ahead, they'll stay ahead and win the game.
True.
I
It's
don't
very
know how to.
interesting.
Yeah, I will
Well,
lose.
that
I will
makes-
just lose.
Yeah.
against
No,
the
but that
fight.
makes perfect sense because Yasuo's damage, you need setup, right? And Yone as well. Like you need setup.
Riven's a pressure sponge. The way I view Riven, it's not like you shove and move as much. Don't you like want to play side and make people come into you and just like win?
I'm not an expert. My intuition would that it would be shove and move. You'd be pushing out the enemy. They can't beat you. And then you'd get on flank and be there ready to go for team fights.
Do you think Riven's? I mean, I don't see as much Riven. Maybe like
I don't see it much, but
Riven's flanking team fights.
like coming from the side. Like I imagine a great Riven
Terrifying.
is like getting in. They're getting in. Like they're not like front to backing.
yeah, no.
They're coming in from like an angle, a side or something, and they're just holding. They're like waiting for the perfect angle.
Yeah, I don't even think they're team fighting. I think when I think of the scariest Riven though, they're just not grouping as much. They're just like playing the side and
Really?
dragging people around the map, being
Interesting.
annoying.
Okay.
Again, I don't have much data.
I just think of a Riven rocking up, like a fed Riven rocking up to a dragon fight, and flashing on my head.
Terrifying.
Killing me.
Yeah, when she has flash, she's a
Flashes
different
on my
beast.
head and
Yeah.
one shots me. So yeah, I think that's a champ that I think it is very honest. Again,
Yeah.
another honest champion. Like I think it has clear like weaknesses. Very, very like linear damage, you know, where all the damage is coming from. Nothing really surprises you. It's just a lot of damage. So again, it's one of those champs that you need to be priming your mental stack. You need to be thinking about their flash. You need to be holding CC. You need to be keeping distance. You need to be
Tether. If you're playing a ranged champion, you can tether her easily.
keeping
if you're
track of
trying.
flanks and fights and wards, like really making sure they're not getting on top of you.
You just don't hit her until she's blown her load.
Yes.
And then go hit her.
Yep.
That's a big one.
Okay, so Chippy's Riven, hot tips. Her number one weakness as a champion is lack of sustain. Play for small 100 to 0 trades and chip away at her. I think that's a lot of people would struggle with. Don't commit damage on her shield. Wait for it to time out. Respect her level 1 and level 6 threat. And the last one is her E cooldown is the main one to punish. If it's down, her only escape is Q, which makes it hard for her to get her damage down.
Nice. Good advice.
Yeah. The Riven level 1 catches a lot of people off guard because the Q cooldown starts at the first cast, not the final cast. So you can Q, wait, Q2, wait, Q3, and then the Q1's almost back up, so you'll die to that all the time. As far as I'm aware. That could be complete misinformation, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
That's misinformation.
I'm just going to go with it. I'm pretty sure it's true.
Let us know, Riven players.
I just realized I didn't say Chippy's for Gangplank. You want to read out the Gangplank hot tips?
Nah, we're too late now. Send it.
So sad, they're actually really good advice.
No one plays GB anyway.
No. Fuck 'em.
What's we're playing against it? Curtis.
Yeah, so if no one plays it,
that's
no
what
one's
I'm
going to
saying,
play
no one
against
plays
it.
it.
Come on, mate. Use your brain.
Thinking man champions.
All right, 2 more. Let's pump up these guys. Come on.
Yasuo.
Yasuo.
Why is Yasuo annoying to verse? He's one of the highest ban rates in the game.
Well, Charlie, am I allowed a second vent for a second?
Yep, I'll
Is that
allow
permitted?
it.
All right.
I'll allow it.
You get 2. That means you lose one next episode.
All right, so no, I'm using both my vents in this one.
It's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The call. What is it called?
Call phone a friend.
Yeah, phone a friend.
All right. I think Yasuo is arguably one of the biggest game warpers up there, specifically for the early game.
Yeah.
Right? Wins every lane. This is what I said in the last episode. Wins it basically every lane. Out sustains. Hard to gank. I feel like a Yasuo, like they always say, people with tradition say, just gank the Yasuo. Yasuo's not that easy to gank, in my opinion. He has the shield. He has the W. Like he has wave control a lot of the time. What do you think, Nathan, as a jungler? Do you think a Yasuo, obviously you play Rek'Sai, so it's a bit of an extreme, but in general, when you're looking at people's games, like is Yasuo that easy to gank?
No, he's not. I mean, because what people do is they're getting spam pinged to gank him, and he's full HP.
He's full HP, exactly right.
And it's just like the worst. It's probably the worst gank in the game to
That's what
gank
I'm
a full HP
saying.
Yasuo.
Ganking
Thank
a full
God.
HP Yasuo that has W up.
Because they're
Yeah.
always winning trades. They have wave control. They're getting out sustained as well on top of that. So then the mid laner gets super frustrated, like help, and you can't kill him
I feel like
because
Yasuo is 2v1ing a lot.
yeah,
When he's
you can
getting
easily.
ganked.
But a Yasuo who's getting chunked and traded a little bit easiest,
sure.
easiest champion. in
But
the game
that
to
just
kill.
is not the reality a lot of the time, most of the time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I just think that, again, why I thoroughly dislike versing Yasuo is that it doesn't matter if I'm playing a mage or many assassins, it's the same outcome. Relax early. They're going to get wave control. I have to just chill, get to my level 6, play with my jungler, and like that's it. Like I just have to play their game. And I hate that. I just hate. So I recommend everyone ban Yasuo, remove it from the game. And that's that. I think and I do think it's an incredibly good solo queue champion though. I think it has a lot of agency. It has a lot of, you can generate a lot of pressure, has a high skill cap.
It's got a lot of age and C. If you want to get coaching from Yasuo, age.
Yes,
AJ.
age.
AJ. He's a good Yasuo player in Midland Academy.
We have a bunch, and we actually have a really thriving Yasuo community in the Midland Academy. We have
There you
a lot. We have one of our mentors, Anatinas, who is a great Yasuo player, does peer review coaching all the time. We have a great Yasuo community. So, even though I hate Yasuo, we have a lot of Yasuo players just for buying shares in the Midland Academy.
Ban it or
It's a fun.
if
It's
you
a
can't
cool
beat him,
champ.
join him.
Yes, exactly right. If you can't beat him, join
I
him.
think of some samurai in like Japan and stuff. It's like it's cool archetype.
Yep.
Next one here. Just a cool shit. It's thinking man shit. No, it's not a thinking man shit.
It's not a thing about
It's like a Draven. It's like the Draven of
the Draven of mid
yeah,
lane.
mid lane.
Yep.
All right.
Lucky last.
Lucky last is Marcy. Marcy and Katarina were like side by side. Marcy made it in, Katarina didn't.
See you later.
Both reset champions.
Thinking man.
No, absolutely not. Master Yi.
So why do people struggle with Yi? Who's voting for this shit? Who's voting for Yi?
It's probably junglers. Let me look.
Junglers.
Nathan Waffle about you, please. While I look this up.
What do you know about
It's
Yi,
just
Nathan?
okay. It's just annoying. It's sort of like think of it like in the lane where you put a lot of work into shutting someone down, they still win the game. I think it's two things. This is like the whole thing with the Garen's like it looks like it's quoted as like an easy low elo stomper champion. So people just get angry that person's playing that and winning the game.
So is it the lower level community, the lower elo community? You think that?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Right. So it's like a silver gold stomper.
That's right.
Okay.
I think that Marcy has a huge sky cap, like a scenario.
Skill cap. It is
like
incredibly high skill cap.
Yeah, you can challenger that champ.
Yeah, for sure.
As an OTP, but yeah, I think it's really annoying the fact that he can get behind and just still get one quadra kill and then just get his items and just like it's sort of like a bit of a. He's got a bit of a Smolder effect.
He's a really cool champion.
Awesome.
I think, isn't he a cool champ?
Yeah.
Like
Master Yi.
Yeah, I think he's one of the coolest champs in the game.
You're really fast at whacking, and your
about?
W, your meditation, I think is awesome.
And the Q is just awesome.
Yeah.
The Q, it's a really cool kit.
You're crazy.
And how frustrating is it when he's like doing these weird ass tower dives that he gets out?
Yeah.
Like just mental.
Yeah, that's
like
really cool, guys.
Tower
Love that.
dives.
Love it when that bloke comes and dives me and just
Like
goes
like
immune.
it's just funny. It's
Fucking
tower
sick.
dives that just doesn't make sense. He gets away.
I
He
think
survives
it's so cool
with the
that we
Q
live in a
reset.
universe where Yi is in the game. I just love that he's in the game. And I love how they have kept him true to what he's always been, right? Like he could have been changed any number of times, but they've kept his identity so clear. You know, this hyper carry, right? Scaling just like fighter.
And you know that zero early game pressure in the early game.
You know he's going to be a sack of shit for a long time, but then
Yeah.
he's going to rip you to shreds in late
So
game.
the narratives that I was just reading from people in the academies were basically saying stuff like, if you pick Yi into a low CC comp, insta win, because the only way to counter Yi is CC, was the narrative spoken there. He just does too much damage and it snowballs too hard. And my teammates will, even if I play safe, my teammates will feed him, and then you can't beat a fed Yi.
Fascinating.
Can't beat a fed Yi is a very common narrative, 100%. I remember
I don't
very
even think, is that
distinctly-
even a narrative? I think that's
just true.
That's kind of just true. Like a good.
Yeah, well, narratives can be true.
Yeah.
That's a true narrative.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And also just like someone said, multiple people said, sorry, if you go late game, like, he just wins. Just one of the best scaling junglers.
Yeah, I think it depends a little bit on comp. Yeah, I mean,
The low CC thing is 100% true,
Yeah.
I think. I think if you're playing a full squishy comp with no CC, it's pretty
It's
hard.
hard. It's a good Yi
Pretty
game.
hard,
yeah, it's a good Yi game.
so is the solution to Yi's champ selects? Or is there things you can do?
I mean, you're the jungler. You're meant to educate us. What are you
But
talking
I just
about?
obliterate this champ. Like he can't play the game. He doesn't get 3 items.
Yeah, so if you verse Yi as a jungler, you just get good and
it's like the same thing.
Win the
play,
early game.
play the game, and he
pick a win con,
It's-
do a
it's-
couple of ganks, take some objectives.
genuinely
you know?
though. Like you're not one
Genuinely.
because the guy's not interacting with you. So what do you do? Like you're playing the game. You're making yourself. You're strong. You have good win condition assessment.
Well, people
Like,
skip
more in
camps and
fights.
stuff. They don't match his
Yeah,
strength.
well, that's the thing is that you need to match his strength. Yeah, that's
So you
actually
need to
good
not
advice.
panic, essentially.
Yeah.
You
Don't
need to play
think-
it
don't-
according to your champ's identity.
Don't feel like that. Yeah, play
Pretend
shit-
he doesn't exist.
That's right.
Do what you need to do. And because you're going to come online
You'll be
earlier,
strong, and you'll be strong.
you'll just win fights.
Yeah.
And then you'll just win the game.
Yeah, the champion won't be able to get
Okay,
ramp up.
I see
enough.
what you mean.
And then the other thing is that what I see a lot of people do is the Yi's like useless and they forget about the like always have him on your mind of like I need to focus him.
You need to keep the game going, get the dragons
It's like
going.
reset. Like you don't want him to reset in fights. I'm talking about fights
Oh,
specifically.
okay.
It's like Katarina. Like you should always think about them in
I
the mental
see.
stack because of the reason. Same with Viego.
Viego, yeah.
Like you always, even if they're behind, you still need to think about them in
Yeah,
fights.
Interesting.
So what I think the whole mid game you have to think about him, and even in the late lane, because the way Marcy often wins games is he gets freebies. He doesn't earn his kills. He's like a bloody vulture. He'll see low HP people trying to push that one extra wave, and he'll just go nab the kill. And it's like, fuck, the Yi has 1 kill. And then he'll do it again. Fuck, the Yi has 2 kills. And then the game's hard. So you need to be very disciplined. Like, just don't give him that
People
stupid
forget.
pick.
Yeah, people just get lazy and then they feed the E. So, yeah, I mean, the people's right, teammates, that they do feed the E. But as a jungler, you have a lot of control of the E.
Goddamn teammates.
Because Yi is one of the easiest champs in the game to counter gang. Like Yi's ruin games if you're a good jungler, jungle track and counter gang. Think about what he will do. Full clear top to bot, probably go for a gank. Full clear top to bot. If you're on there for any of those counter ganks or river skirmishes, you can like triple kill. Like I've
Bam,
bam
triple
triple kill.
Bam.
Bam triple kill is versus Yi's.
So how do you counter Yi?
Bam triple
Bam,
kill.
triple kill.
Don't go for the crab. Don't walk in the river. Go sit behind your laners in that bush and he will gank and you'll get a bam triple kill.
All right.
So the real answer is how to be. You just get some coaching.
And obviously, if you have
from
CC in your comp, you hold hold your
Hold
CC.
your
Hold your
CC.
goddamn CC. Just like you would versus Katarina or a
Yes.
Viego or XYZ diver. Because
Again,
he's a diver.
it's another one of those champions where the support in the lobby can do a lot
Yes.
against CE. Most
Or mid
supports
laners. A
counter
lot of
E.
mid laners as well. I think a lot of mid laners and a lot of supports are going to be up. They're going to be the ones responsible for dealing with the
Yes,
Yi.
me and my 80 carries will not take accountability for losing to that Yi. It is not
I
our
don't
fault.
really feel like it's the jungler's responsibility or AD carry responsibility or even top laner's responsibility. It's largely just the mid laners because they've got the utility a lot of the time or the support. One of you needs to be consciously thinking about holding your CC.
Yep, if I
That goes
die,
a long way.
Not my problem.
All right, that wraps up our 30 most annoying champions. So the summaries here, running at people.
It's a good learning.
That's a good learning. People struggle with the whole concept of they just refuse.
Just disengage.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing is assassins. So many assassins on
lot
this
of
list.
assassins.
People just don't like the fact that they can just get one shot off the screen, like Garen ult or something like that.
Annoying mini games, right? Games that kits that warp the game.
Warp. the
Yeah,
game.
saying no. People getting annoyed with their own play patterns being diminished by the enemy champion's kits. If you accept that reality, you'll just win more, and winning is fun.
Short trades versus extended trading.
Yeah.
That was a little thing that came up. People, it's just not intuitive to do long trades against these champions that look like they're super OP, but they have clear weaknesses. Playing around cooldowns, I guess.
Like a thinking man. Thinking men play around cooldowns.
Yeah. And yeah. Is that the
All
summary?
right.
I think so.
Great.
The episode kind of fizzled out there at the end with your little list. We need what's his name, Chad, to come off the
Yes,
surf
off the
to
surf.
take us out of the podcast.
You know what would be great
With like
if you
a
had a
cowabunga.
surfboard prop
Oh yeah.
and shout out
Sorry,
to Chad.
we just built the set. You want more props, dude?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
in this universe, there is no water.
True, in the
Curtis.
castle.
true.
We're in the castle.
Look,
up
there's a
in-
bit of water on the.
yeah,
I don't think you can surf in that, Charles.
we're on like the seventh
swamp.
story.
All right. That wraps our episode today. Good work. Let's keep on improving. 3-block process. 3-block merch at merch.weteachleague.com. We'll see you guys on our next episode.